I think I hit the mute button in the beginning.
Okay. So in sports news,
all right, thanks, Erica.
Brandon Marshall signed with the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, so I think he signed a 1 year for the extreme veteran minimum of $2 million
You didn't ask me how my weekend
to
was.
some extent.
You didn't ask me how my weekend was.
How was your weekend? I thought you was talking about your weekend with everybody else.
No, that was his weekend.
No, yours is different?
Yes.
How was your weekend?
Because I graduated my last child
Oh, okay.
on Friday.
Sheldon gonna make sure that is out there for people to know.
What? I'm proud of him. I'm proud. Our last child.
That's
the very last baby.
That's Mr. Xavier Biggs, right?
Yeah.
The B-I-G-G.
Throw up the X. Throw up the X. Wakanda style? No.
Congratulations to Xavier. And that's my son's. Now I'm trying not to call your son Zay. That's my son's nickname.
And he
Zay.
would get mad too.
That's
we
what I'm saying.
call
I gotta
him
catch myself.
He's like,
that's
don't
my
call me
only
Xavier.
son's name, Xavier.
Yeah, we can't call him Zay. We can't call him Xavier.
Xavier.
It's got to be Xavier or X-Man or just X.
Okay.
We was at
Well, I called myself.
We was at school and I said Xavier.
He's like, don't. Please don't do that.
Your mama called you Clay? I'm gonna
call you Clay, right?
So Brandon Marshall, 1
Wait,
year.
we gotta finish the weekend.
Oh,
That's
I thought she was
weekend,
finished.
is it?
My mommy came to visit.
I saw
she
her.
Came from Michigan.
Yeah, I
she
saw
came and she did a show with Cedric. We didn't put it on TV. We put it on the Marco Polo, but they did a show.
I saw the pictures though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They were here in the studio.
I don't think I ever saw your T. Jones up until now.
Yeah,
I'm like,
T.
what?
T. Jones.
I'm my bad. I'm from the hood.
That's okay. My kids call me T. Jones. I never call my mom T. Jones.
Age has been very well put out there.
But
my
she
bad.
came in on Wednesday and she took us out to dinner Thursday, and then we all went to Waco on Friday. So, and my aunt and my uncle came, and it was just a really, really good time. I don't get to see my family often because my mom is in Michigan.
Right.
My brothers are, one brother's in Michigan, my sister's in Oklahoma, and my other brother's in California. So I don't get to see them often. I have to plan well in advance if we're gonna have something together because everybody's all over the place. So it was real fun to have everybody there.
And shout out to Buzzard Billiards.
Buzzard Billies.
Billies, yeah.
Yeah.
That's where we got the Cajun, got a Creole on.
Yeah. Once we got the waitress to act right,
Yeah.
I had to, be nice, nasty.
Okay.
Did you act right?
I did. I was nice because I didn't want nobody spitting in my food, but she was a little rude to some of the people, so we had to. I had to talk to the manager.
She said nice, nasty.
I was nice, nasty. I was like, look here.
There's no such thing.
Vocabulary.
I said we got a lot of
Yeah.
phones and we paying a lot of money, and I expect some good service, good customer service.
Yeah, that's what they
I said,
want.
Yeah, that was not. It was
Wait a
nice.
minute. How
It was about
come?
20 of us there.
But when I ask you for something, you don't.
But that's different. Your family, I treat you in every kind of way.
I wish y'all could saying that. I'm not y'all family.
The food was really good once we got settled and got everything done.
See how they do family? That's just cold.
So if y'all are on my Facebook page,
staying
look
out of
for
that.
more pictures to come of the graduation and the whole weekend. Photos by Cedric Lyons II.
Oh, yeah.
He took some professional photos, so I'm waiting to get those from him to put those up there. That was the other graduates. That was the first graduate of this year.
Okay, but you said Cedric was taking pictures.
Cedric the second.
The second.
Not
I know not that one. But
the professional, the one with the degree in film was taking the photos.
Pictures last week. It wasn't something in the camera. So you have that in the camera.
He was working.
But see, you know what the problem was? He didn't have his camera.
The problem
he had my camera, and I'm not a photographer. When he had his camera, he was on point.
The problem is his daddy.
Well,
I ain't got nothing to do with this.
I have no
I didn't call no name.
No comment.
Well, you said the second.
I didn't pay.
He's his own man.
If it
And
ain't
he
the
was very
mailman's baby, then.
professional. And his camera is
Last
so
week,
nice.
You,
No, on Friday, for the graduation.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't going, you know how you try not
but
to
then
ask.
again, wait a minute. I don't know why y'all gonna talk about I wasn't there. I didn't get an invite.
Well, that ain't my fault. You need to talk to
Get no
X.
personal here.
You need to talk to Xavier.
Okay, so the Cavs.
Anyway, so
You
it was a
finished
great
Brandon Marshall.
weekend. And let's see what else happened. Okay, that's it. I'm finished.
That's pretty much it there. The Cavs, Kevin Love, still in concussion protocol for game 1. His status is unknown.
What about Chris Paul?
But Kevin Love, like, he wasn't about nothing anyway in other games.
Dealing with
he's out.
The protocol of concussion, he's 50-50.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't shock me if you don't be a participant in game one of the finals.
Was he a participant in the last 2 games he actually played in?
Well, he was a body.
That's all he was.
Okay, so he was there. I mean,
that's all he was. The Golden Knights versus the Capitals, game 1. This is the first Las Vegas Golden Knights.
Las Vegas Golden Knights?
Yes, this is the first time an expansion team gets to a professional finals. Their first year.
That's insane.
That is insane. Well, in 68, 67, 68, when the NHL kind of came together,
right?
What they had was the expansion teams play each other.
Right.
So that's why one of the teams made it, because they played each other.
Right.
This is the first time an expansion team, the first year, gets to the NHL finals, gets to any major finals.
I'm telling you, Las Vegas is about to go on the map. They're about to get the Raiders. Yeah. They got the Aces of the WNBA. Mm-hmm. They got the Golden Knights for the NHL, and they already 3 games away from winning the Stanley Cup in their first year as a franchise.
And the Raiders actually took out an ad that said "Go Golden Knights."
Man, I'm telling you, Las Vegas is on the map, and then you got what happened in New Jersey. Well, not in New Jersey, but the state legislature about the gambling. You know, Las Vegas and New Jersey is
you knew Atlantic City was gonna be all up in it.
Mm-hmm. So we're good for the Golden Knights.
Yeah. Birthdays: Carmelo Anthony.
I'm gonna say Carmelo Anthony. Today's his birthday.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say he is 32. No. He's 35.
I say 32.
All right.
I think he's 35.
Probably.
You say 33? Y'all circling wagons. 34.
You were closest though.
Man.
Okay. Mel B.
Who's Mel B?
Mel B is.
Who's Mel B?
She's from the Spice Girls.
Oh, the Spice Girl.
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy's baby mama.
You had to throw that in there.
So
that's his baby mama for real.
Mel B.
45.
Today's her birthday?
Yeah.
40. Wait a minute. 40.
She's got to be in the 40s.
44.
Mel B. I'm gonna say she
What's
is
up, Ace
47. 47.
All right. 80.
44.
48.
43.
Woo! I'm close.
Okay, I was wrong.
All right. But you didn't even know who she was, so good guess though.
I don't know who.
Spice Girls.
I just didn't know.
That was not their song.
That was.
I don't remember that song.
Yes, it was.
Okay.
That was it. That was it.
Next birthday.
LaToya Jackson.
LaToya Jackson.
Oh, wow. Y'all harmony and everything.
LaToya Jackson is 60.
Let's see. Janet just turned 50.
She turned 52.
Yeah, she would be.
And she's
LaToya
the oldest. LaToya's the oldest. No, Riri is the oldest.
Riri's the oldest.
Yeah.
I'm saying LaToya is 63.
I'm gonna say 61.
No.
50.
No, Michael was 50 when he died in 08. So he would have been 60 today.
He died in 08 or 09?
Oh,
I think it's 08.
9.
April of 08.
No, yeah, 08.
April of 08.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he would have been 60 by now.
Okay, so she got to be older than that. So she's about
She's 63. I'm stick with 63.
Right.
65.
All right, AD.
Whatever, you don't get the answer.
We've been calculating. Okay, she got to be around this age.
I would say 64.
62.
Oh, see, I started saying 61. I said 61. Didn't I say 61 at first?
I had it right at first.
Hey, you threw me off.
Tomorrow's birthday, CeeLo Green.
Who?
CeeLo Green.
CeeLo Green. That sound like a mess. I see that name sounds familiar. He's a
Forget you.
Yeah, okay. I know who he is. I
49.
CeeLo Green's 46. CeeLo Green.
I can't remember the words of this song.
47.
44.
44.
Okay.
He look old.
Harrison Barnes.
Of the Dallas Mavericks, Harrison Barnes, 28. I think he's 28.
How long have you been with the Mavs?
It doesn't matter.
Not
all his life.
27.
I was gonna say 27.
We'll say 27. I'll say 26.
Well, I say 25.
I say 28.
Okay, what y'all gonna say?
I'm gonna say 28.
29.
27.
26.
See, y'all put 26. I can't stand you.
I did say 26.
Oh, I should have stuck with what I was doing.
Born on this day, now dead.
Who?
JFK.
John F. Kennedy.
Don't tell us any dead birthdays.
No, we're gonna leave that one alone.
Yeah, please. Don't tell us no dead birthdays.
Yeah, we're gonna leave that one alone.
Well,
at least it's not one of us.
Well, yeah.
We ain't 6 feet under.
He finally got it through his head that Dallas didn't want him.
Boy, I'm wrong for that. You are so wrong for that.
Somebody said them Spice Girls and the Kardashians are a hell of a drug.
Right.
All right, Eric Wise.
All right. All right, this has been 411 Sports Talk Radio, foreignradionetwork.com. We'll be right back. When we come back, we're going to get into, do we want to do the NBA?
You got to do the NBA.
Got to do the finals.
That's the hottest thing going right there.
It is.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. 411 Sports Talk Radio, Foreign Radio Network.
Let's roll.
All right.
All right, we're back. That was a fake love. What is that, fake love? Yeah, Drake with fake love.
And listening audience, you couldn't hear that because we're muting.
Yes, we are muting. And we got to speak into the mic.
You can hear me.
You got to speak into the mic.
You can hear me.
Can we hear you? Is she good?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Good. You can't? All right, this has been 411 Sports Talk Radio, foreignradionetwork.com.
Big old loud cough.
We got to get into NBA talk.
Proverb.
Houston. Let's start off with Houston and Golden State. That game was all about one quarter.
Man.
The third
quarter.
Game 6 and Game 7.
Yeah, it was all about the third quarter.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's like, what is
third quarter show.
Yeah, what does Houston have to do? show up. They got number one to shut Step down because he actually took off that third quarter.
Right. Did you see when he got hit upside the head?
Yeah.
I was like, oh my goodness.
See what has happened? Okay.
And it didn't have CP3 either. And I don't know if that would have made that much of a difference.
Well, see, what has happened is, and I've been telling people this the last couple of games. In Game 6 and Game 7, where the Warriors were struggling, they kept playing isolation ball with KD a lot. And so when they pulled away from that, when it came to the third quarter, it was a Steph Curry show.
Right.
I mean, he just flirted the floor with threes.
It was like he was hitting on everything. He could not miss.
It's you know, like one person told me last night, he told me, I don't think Golden State respect their opponents. They know when it's time to cut the Jets off.
And they cut it off.
They play with teams, then when the third quarter come, okay, we're going to shut this down.
That's why I said they let them wear themselves out in the first and second quarter, and then they just
but Houston,
after they done worn out.
It's not like Houston didn't have a chance. Houston couldn't hit a shot.
Well, see, that's another thing. And the Rockets, for those that probably didn't know, they broke an NBA record by missing 27 3-pointers in a row.
And I'm starting thinking, why do you stay? Let's get some points in.
There is no way, for me, I would keep trying to hit the three shot because evidently you don't have the shooters that Golden State has, but you kept trying to hit the three. You kept shooting bricks. But Houston, so why won't you just pull back and just pitch a little bit and start somewhere?
But Houston is a team that live by the three, die by the three.
Well, they die by the three.
Yeah, and number two is
they were cremated by the three.
And number two is they wait for somebody turned up something. And number two is they wait for Harden to get to go to the line.
Right.
Let's see how much we can get him to the line.
And I mean, James Harden, once CP3 was out, I mean,
it was over. Because he had nobody to quarterback the team.
I mean, Capella was just off the chain. I mean, it was really Harden and Capella all game for the first and second quarter. Because I kept saying to myself, I looked at the game, I'm like, the Warriors don't even look interested in this game. They were getting pounced on the board. KD was getting destroyed on the board.
Yeah.
And it just, after halftime, Steve Kerr was like, okay, let's go on and get this out the way so we can beat Cleveland for the fourth straight time in the finals.
Right.
So,
what does that say about teams that meet each other 4 straight times in the finals? I used to say the East was sorry, but maybe the West is about as sorry as the East because you got to have somebody else to represent, right?
Well, this is the thing. You got LeBron James in the East, who's going to his 8th straight NBA Finals. He's the best player in the NBA in the weaker conference.
In the weaker conference, yeah.
Then you have the Western Conference, who you have 3 or 4 phone ringing. 3 or 4.
He done told everybody else to turn their phones down,
and that was
he the one.
There you go.
In the West, you got Golden State, who has at least 4 premier players,
right,
who can just dominate a basketball game at any time on the same team.
Right.
So it doesn't shock me that we're seeing this again, even though some people may say, well, this is getting boring. Well, until you find a way to stack a lineup of starting 5 to...
You got to put somebody around them. But you had that...
Golden State, you're going to keep having Golden State in Cleveland. If LeBron James stays with the Cavs, it's no telling how many more times they'll go back to the finals.
Do you think he's going to stay with the Cavs?
I don't think so.
No.
I mean, it's your phone.
He might go to a West team.
Yeah, I'm trying to get straight.
What?
No.
Everything okay?
Our guests keep coming.
Yeah. Why don't you just let him in? What time did you tell him to call?
I'm going to call him. I'm going to tell him to call him at 8:15.
So he's over there texting him. So,
Get your head straight. Thank you.
Yeah. See, so you got some backup. Use your backup now. Well, LeBron leaves the Cavs. I mean, one would think he wouldn't because he's done it before. When he left the Cavs for his jerseys was burned all over the place.
If they lose,
stupid.
If they lose in these finals, then what?
If
I wouldn't burn no darn jersey.
Yeah.
If Cleveland lose, I mean, he has the right to leave, but I think it'd be more of a hard decision for him to leave the second time around knowing he did it the first time.
And one probably wouldn't.
And then he came back to Cleveland and basically gave them something to cheer for, because that's the only thing you can cheer for in Cleveland these days is
because the football team. Oh my gosh.
The Indians.
I mean, you would think if you stay with Cleveland, you have an outstanding chance of going back to the finals as long as LeBron is on the roster.
Unless Boston gets their act together.
Now, if LeBron wants to have a good chance of beating a team like the Warriors or the Rockets, go to Philadelphia and play off the ball just a little bit.
Yeah,
I mean, you seen the 76ers. They got plenty of talent. They're a young team.
Yeah, I don't see. So you're saying that LeBron will stay in the East?
I think he will.
What is
the only team he will go to in the West is the Lakers. But why would you go to the West knowing you still have the four-headed monster?
Knowing you still can do this
in Golden State.
And I'll say this right here.
If you want to win a championship, you stay in the East
and hopefully you get past Golden State.
Right. That's the only thing you can do. Give yourself a chance to go to the finals by staying in the East, because you go to the West,
what team is going to
not get
to
the finals.
Doing all that flip-flopping.
Who?
I said, what team is going to want him doing all that flip-flopping?
Every team.
Whoever pay him the money.
Every team.
Well, I mean,
I'm sorry.
Like
LeBron is
LeBron.
He's the best in the NBA. He's showing it this year.
Everybody.
It is what it is. So
everybody wants.
Hey,
show me the money.
I mean, common sense would have me to think to stay in the East and get to the finals as much as you can. And when you get there, try to figure out a way.
Find a way to win.
In part one, I'm so calling these parts between Golden State and the Cavaliers. Part one, they got the trophy.
Yeah.
They beat Golden State. That's without Kevin Durant.
Right. But part two, you got Kevin Durant, and part three, you got Kevin Durant.
And you lost both times.
You lost both times.
Right.
And in part one, you was up by 2 games. Mm-hmm. And you still could have won, but Golden State ran out of gas.
Was it Golden State up 2 games and Cleveland came back and just...
Golden State was up 2 games.
Right.
And Golden State just ran out of gas.
Yeah.
And you could see it.
Yeah.
You could see it, but they said, we're not doing this no more.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
We're not running the gas no more. We got a KD, and now you bring in a team that is not, your team last year was better. Cleveland's team last year was better than the team this year. Because they had more scores. They had more firepower. I mean, Kyrie Irving was on that team last year.
You're going back to the finals without Kyrie Irving, and with Golden State, you got the same roster.
Uh-huh.
So what you think was
and you got the rookie too?
Who you talking?
Who was that? Golden State. For Golden State.
A rookie?
Yeah. He had I forget his name.
Not Draymond.
No. They used
rookie this year.
Golden State's rookie. Yeah, I'm not saying he's rookie of the year, but he played. I think his first team.
Okay.
Rookie.
Okay.
He was on the rookie first team. I think his name Tony somebody another. But anyway, you got players this year. You got better players or more in tune players that play more in sync. Mm-hmm. And like you said, anytime we want to, third quarter we can turn it on. And LeBron, look at LeBron had to play 48 minutes. This last against ball, he had to play all 48 minutes.
The whole game.
The whole game.
And I'm pretty sure that was his decision.
But still, how tired do you think he's gonna be?
Yeah.
We know how legs fail you the more you start playing.
He's 35, even though he don't act 35.
Yeah, but still though, you're playing against a better team than Boston. Mm-hmm. A lot. Would you agree?
I agree with that.
I say a lot better team than Boston.
Eric Wise said, if LeBron is going to challenge the ghosts of greatness, he has to go to the West. Otherwise, he will always be known for the guy who took the easy route.
Yeah, I agree, because you got so many teams in the West that you got to play against on a consistent basis. Mm-hmm. San Antonio, Portland, Golden State,
the Rockets,
Houston. Yeah, you got so many teams. The Pelicans, that you got to play. Timberwolves, yeah, on a consistent basis. You're not going to be able to keep up that stamina on a consistent basis, and the team, the guys you have around you are merely role players, if that. Mm-hmm. And your best player after LeBron, what, Kevin Love or because
J.R. Smith.
J.R. Smith, yeah. But J.R. Smith had been injury prone for a long time, hadn't he?
Yeah.
So,
and he has his moments when
he's got his moments, yeah.
Either he's ghosting the game or he'll hit you with 24.
He does Terrence Williams on you.
Oh no.
And disappears.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
Yeah. I mean, one minute Terrence Williams is just like, wow, this dude is on fire. Next thing he put out his own fire.
Right. So.
Wait. Did you see the Terrence Williams video?
Oh my God.
I replayed that thing for the kids because they hadn't seen it.
Evil.
Oh my God, that was so funny. I was like, dude,
drunk.
He was
D-R-U-N, a capital K.
Yeah.
Drunk.
Yeah.
She gonna ask me, baby, can they get him a ticket bill on the scooter? I said,
Yeah.
Did you see the interview with the police?
Yes.
He was talking.
Yeah. And then the story he made up. My homeboy from Minnesota, I wasn't driving it, but then your phone
called out his homie.
Your phone is in the car
under the bus.
Yeah. And then well, I didn't hit a pole, but your car's under the pole.
Shoot, that pole was wrapped around that car.
And how do you go from a Lamborghini to a
scooter?
Well,
somebody playing out your finances, right?
Well, maybe it was a Lamborghini body, but with a Yugo.
But that Lamborghini was ugly anyway. Did you see that baby powder blue?
Was it powder blue?
Yes, it was ugly.
It was powder blue. Anyway,
so let's say if LeBron and the Cavs beat the Warriors this go round, will that give him a step closer to being the GOAT next to Michael Jordan? Based upon his supporting cast this year.
Some people
minus Kyrie Irving.
Some people say that it does. Some people still argue the point that they still think that LeBron is the best player ever.
No.
But I don't think that, man.
No. It puts him on the upper level with Michael, but not next to Michael.
Martez said Jordan Bell.
Jordan Bell, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, Jordan Bell.
And that's a substitute.
Yeah.
Remember that.
Yeah,
he got
substitute.
That's the substitute, talking noise. But
he wasn't talking noise. He was just giving you.
I know he was giving you information. That's good. I like that.
Give him a break, man.
But no, does that make him?
See, this is my issue with that argument. People throw up in my face, Scottie Pippen. Jordan wouldn't have been nothing without Scottie Pippen. So I said, okay, I did my research. There's some truth to that. Without Scottie Pippen, Michael in the playoffs was 1-9.
Okay,
but that was between 84, 85, and 86. Even Pippen wasn't on the team or when he was a rookie, not from the start.
And remember, that was in the time period that they played defense. And people want to throw that out like that don't mean nothing.
And some people say the defense wasn't as superb as it is now, but
I don't know what they were watching. I don't know what y'all was watching.
They was watching either.
Look at
watching the Smurfs or something like that.
Look at LeBron from the last game. He stepped up on his defense.
Yeah, he had to.
Yeah, he stepped up on his defense.
What is those saying? Defense wins championships.
Yeah,
correct.
I mean, shoot, the bad boys of Detroit, man. Couldn't nobody touch the bad boys.
So Eric Wise said, remember, LeBron had faced 11 50-win teams en route to his 3 titles. Kobe Bryant faced 23 50-win teams. Kobe's 5 championships meant a whole lot more to me. You have to beat quality and face the best.
And Jordan, I think Jordan's faced like at least 30 to 40 50-win teams. I think Jordan faced the most 50-win teams. And the East was not as it's not as watered down. I remember when they started allowing kids. I mean, they've been doing it since Moses Malone. But then when it became prevalent that kids could now come in to the NBA. You got your who's that? Leon Smith. I'm always go back to that. Remember Leon Smith? Maverick's great. But you got you got players like that right there, and then you water down the college game. So now when you're drafting players like this year's draft is only 3 or 5 players deep. How do you do that? Because you've already watered it down when you start letting folks get to the NBA. And they started doing that. I mean, gone are the days with Patrick Ewing. Remember in this league, you had several bigs. Not just one or two. You had several. You had Patrick Ewing. You had Akeem Olajuwon, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You had several bigs. Clyde Drexler. No, I'm talking about bigs. I'm talking about Bill Laimbeer, Robert Parrish.
You're talking about the tall.
Yeah, I'm talking about the bigs. Yeah, because if you don't have any bigs that can clog up that center, guess what? That's why people can walk down the court on you.
That's the only thing I really look at basketball. I know all the other four positions don't do what they do, but that's that's always been the Mavericks' biggest problem.
If they couldn't get a big.
They never could get a true center.
Your closest was Roy Tarpley, but then he played.
He was not.
He was a power forward.
He was a power forward. Yeah, he was a power forward. But to that is James Donaldson, who couldn't jump.
He was an all-star.
Let's look at the one that's still on the team pulling the paycheck.
Who is that right now?
Dude.
Mark
But he's not a natural five.
No, he's not though.
He's 7 feet tall.
Dirk is not a natural.
But with that height.
Mark Eaton.
Yeah, that's a number.
Mark Eaton,
Yeah,
Mark Eaton. I mean, then you had bigs, and that means that LeBron James couldn't run down the floor like he does and put it in, because you had too many bigs around there. Now, and then they taught defense. That was a practice thing that you did is defense. Most teams now you scoring like 120, 130 a game. Then before you scored like maybe 89, 90 a game back then, because that defense was so solid.
Well, I was looking at the game and Professor, I noticed that they don't trap like they used to.
They don't.
They play man to man.
They don't.
Meaning, if you go out and Cedric, but Cedric go by you, I'm saying that's not my man.
That ain't my man. Dang, he didn't get in. He couldn't get in.
Well, I mean, I do understand people out there believe that LeBron James, based upon what he has done up to this point, can be considered the GOAT over Michael Jordan. But I keep saying LeBron James have had. What he's doing now, the last 2 years, Michael did it more than LeBron has ever done.
Yeah.
And I keep going back to the finals against the Dallas Mavericks, where you had your two superstars in D Wade and Chris Bosh, along with LeBron James. Mm-hmm. You were heavily favored to beat the Mavericks. Matter of fact, sweep them.
Yeah.
And instead of you being dominant in three of those fourth quarter games, you didn't show up.
You tanked, and that's what
you would never catch Michael Jordan ever doing that.
That's what one of his.
And I'm bringing a clutch situation. LeBron James is clutch now.
Yeah, because
I look at the whole body of work, the whole resume, not just
parts of the resume. And heck, he tanked. What was that? A couple of games ago?
Who?
LeBron. We only had 15 points.
15 points that night?
That was in game 1 against Boston.
Yeah.
He had 15 points and 7 turnovers.
He tanked in.
You would never catch Michael Jordan under 20 in a playoff game. None whatsoever. But LeBron is awesome. He's the best player in his generation. But to me, that GOAT.
But I think the other thing is right here.
I can't give it.
The other thing is right here. You talk about how they talk about how they think LeBron just plays with the team he's given. No, he didn't.
He chose the team.
Yeah, LeBron cut the whole dang team.
I heard that yesterday.
Yeah, he cut the whole dang team in a trade deadline.
Put it together.
See, a lot of people say, well, Louis, LeBron have done more with the talent that he had around here than Michael Jordan. But you have to make yourself understand. LeBron James is the one choosing who he wants on his team.
Right. The other thing is right here. Would you have known about B.J. Armstrong?
No.
Would you have known about Horace Grant?
No.
What about
Greg
Cartwright? Yeah, Greg Hodges. What about Cartwright?
No.
And Cartwright was in his mid-30s when he started winning.
You wouldn't have known about any of those players had it not been for Jordan. I mean, Steve Kerr.
Yeah. John Paxson.
Okay, now, let's look at this here. The difference from Michael and LeBron, Michael said, our team.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron said yesterday, my team.
That's true.
Yeah,
somebody brought that up too.
Jordan is a team player. LeBron is a me player, and y'all just come with me.
There was a video that was circulating. It was a situation where Jordan was interviewed after the '93 finals.
I heard that one.
And there was an interview after, I think, last year's finals. And some reporter asked both players, it was ironic, the same question.
Mm-hmm.
How do you compare yourself to the greats? Jordan said, I mean, I feel like I'm the best, but I can't say that because you have Bird, Magic.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron said, I am the best.
Yeah, right.
No humbleness whatsoever.
So then I saw this other quote that said, on a one-on-one, who would win one-on-one?
Between who?
Jordan
and LeBron.
Who would win one-on-one? They played to 20.
In their prime?
They played to 25.
Jordan.
Who would win one-on-one?
Now, when I played Jordan and LeBron on Xbox,
who won that one?
Mike won. He's still hanging.
Who would win a one-on-one with Jordan and LeBron?
You know, LeBron is a physical specimen, a brute. Jordan was what word I want to use? Not finesse, but his grace.
His grace, yeah. Oh man, yeah.
With his hands.
Yeah. He was, and he looks so good doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and you knew exactly when it's gonna be done deal.
Right.
When he started that tongue goes out, you know, this is done deal right here. And he's more clutch than LeBron.
I mean, if you put Jordan one-on-one with LeBron, are you talking about overall?
Overall, we're gonna play 25. One-on-one with Jordan and LeBron.
Well, that's a good question. I'm not gonna lie, that's a good. I would want to lean to Jordan 25, LeBron 23, because there are gonna be times where LeBron's gonna use his brute force, and I'm not sure if Jordan can handle that.
Well,
I mean, Jordan is 6'6", LeBron is 6'8", 6'9".
Let's look at times when Jordan went up against Magic. Let's look at times. I mean, Jordan has played defense all over that field. See, I think that's the one caveat that you give Jordan is Jordan is going to play shutdown defense on LeBron and frustrate him. Remember, LeBron gets frustrated easy, and he will flop. And if the rules were okay, ain't no flopping. You know, he breathes on it. You can't throw yourself all across the floor because that's what LeBron would do. I've seen him throw himself across the floor. Somebody barely touch him, he way on the side of the floor, and then they call foul.
Michael.
And Michael getting your head too.
And see, he know how to step up his game. If you step up your game,
I'm gonna step up mine.
He gonna step up here, especially when it comes to defense.
And you talking about trash talking too? Michael Jordan was like one of the top trash talkers.
And you know what he would do after he done beat you? He'd give you this signal.
Yeah, that Matumbo, yeah. And actually that came up when they were sitting down, some all-star, something like that. They all sitting there, and Matumbo and Jordan was talking and everything, and Jordan said, "Nah, you ain't gonna never do that to me." He said, "Watch me." And Matumbo, I'm gonna give you this. Not today. Jordan came up and went right at him. And what's so bad about it is Jordan will go right at you. If you challenge him, he will go right at you, and ain't nothing you can do about it.
Never back down.
Ain't nothing you can do about it. And then he stopped and came back and said, "Not today." No, I mean, it's those type of things, those little nuggets that Jordan has that LeBron doesn't have. And you can play to 40. He's not going to get who you are now is who you are. You can play to 40. You're not going to get those type of nuggets that Jordan had. And you saw those nuggets when he was in North Carolina State. You saw all it, and when they told him you can't do this, guess what they did? The first all he used to do is dunk. Then they said, "Oh, you can't shoot the two." Okay, forget that. I ain't dunking. I'm going to shoot the two. Oh, you can't shoot the three. Okay, forget that. Oh, you can't play defense. Okay, let me shut you down. Every time you told Jordan what he can't do, he went up doing it. And to a level of raising the whole team up. You know, have we ever seen LeBron get thrown up sick and he's still shooting a 30 against Cleveland?
No.
I mean, do you remember games like that where, I mean, we've seen games that Jordan you knew he was out of it, but he still didn't shut down. He still didn't.
I remember watching the old clip, and while they was in the huddle, he told Grant, "Hey, they're going to double down on me. I just need you to be right here and I get the ball to you." And Grant had a good game that I can't remember exactly when it was, but he had a good game because, like you say, Jordan caused them to raise up.
Raise level. Jordan
And
knew.
he just knew what they were gonna do to him. And he said, I can't carry this by myself. But if y'all be where y'all need to be, like I asked you to be, I guarantee you we can win this.
His level of coaching on the floor
Right.
was unbelievable. And those are the tangibles that you can't take away from Jordan.
Mr. Turner said, don't forget his young Lakers. And my question is, if the Lakers was to offer LeBron a good paycheck, would he
His
get?
name is the substitute.
Well, the substitute said LeBron is very clutch.
I'm sorry.
He said,
That's all right, you knew.
He said LeBron is very clutch. I didn't say that LeBron was not clutch. I said LeBron was not as clutch as Jordan. Who would you want to take that last shot?
Jordan.
Would you want Jordan or LeBron to take the last shot?
Today or yesterday?
In both of their primes, who do
Any day.
you want to take the last shot?
It's Mike.
Yeah.
It's Mike.
Yeah.
I wanna be like
any time of the day when we got the last shot,
I want to be like Jesus.
I want to have Jordan take the last shot.
Yes, that's
You know, I always tell people tend to let this slip past them. What number does LeBron wear?
Jordans. What number did Kobe come in and wear? Jordans.
No, Kobe didn't wear Jordan's number. He wore the number up from 23.
Okay,
24.
24.
He went
Okay.
from 8 to 24.
And then for Jordan to say, well, now, for LeBron to say, you know what, Jordan is the greatest. Nobody should be wearing this number. I'm taking this jersey off. I'm going to take it back home now. You know, why you do that?
When he went to Miami, he said that's why he wore number 6. But
Yeah, but still.
he wears Jordan number, so that kind of give me a incline that he recognized the game.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm gonna say it again. LeBron James is the best in his generation.
Yeah, hands down.
It's the greatest of all time. Think about that title.
That's not.
Think about the influence Jordan had in the league. It ain't just basketball. Everybody wore shoes.
Mm-hmm. Not only that.
And he had a movie.
He brought Space Jam. Come on now.
Space Jam. Hey, Bugs Bunny liked him.
Not only that.
Space Jam was alright.
That was a good movie.
I think he single-handedly brought the NBA back.
Look, he had a toy and everything.
Because at one time you had it was one time the NBA was going down there, late 70s. Then you had then you had the Bird Magic. Mm-hmm. And Bird Magic brought it back. Mm-hmm. You know, then you bring in Jordan. Mm-hmm. And then Jordan just takes it to a new level. Mm-hmm. So the other teams, and I think not only was he influencing his own players, he influenced other players. I mean, anytime you bring the craziest Rodman on your team and win 3 with Rodman, mm-hmm. you know, and Jordan's like, all you have to do, I don't need you to score. All I need you to do is sit on this basket and block shots.
There were games Rodman had 0 points and 23 rebounds.
Right. Get in their head.
Yeah.
Get in their
head.
So
in other words, when you say the NBA is still playing off of what Michael have established.
Yeah.
The NBA after what?
After
25 years?
Right.
You're talking about at least 10, 15 years of being retired. Mm-hmm. And it's still playing off of Jordan.
And he can walk in any stadium and still get a standing ovation.
Yeah, I would. I'm trying to get interviewed.
Eric Wise said, I would take Kobe over LeBron with a last shot in a game scenario. I'm taking LeBron, but I want Jordan or Kobe for the last 2 minutes. And you know, we talk about LeBron. We talk about LeBron and Jordan, and
we don't give Kobe that much credit. We
don't never talk about Kobe.
And we should give that credit. We should give y'all.
Why is that?
But
why is that?
Because
we never mentioned Kobe.
He had that problem in Colorado.
No.
I give Kobe his problem. But LeBron is the one still playing.
Kobe was a selfish player to me.
No. She called him selfish.
I felt like he was a very selfish player. He wasn't.
Is that why we don't talk about Kobe? Because he was selfish?
Me, I don't like him because he was selfish. I don't like him because he got rid of Shaq. I don't like him because
So do we blame Kobe for the reason why Shaquille O'Neal is now on the team?
Come on.
Hey, we came to that conclusion.
Yes,
I think you blame Kobe for that. You blame Kobe for
Pat Riley.
No, not Pat Riley.
Back it up when it comes to Shaq. Not so much he got rid of Shaq, but he threw Shaq under the bus.
He did.
He threw anybody. You throw me under the bus.
player.
He didn't want another
told me
star
up
on the same team.
and watch what I would do.
Up to the end, he was
Yeah,
selfish.
he
He all about Kobe.
He didn't want another star on the team, and I agree with
Exactly.
But see, that's the thing.
I'm like, you can't play basketball without a team. There's no
that.
I.
But it's not the team I'm talking about. Another star on the team.
Whatever.
Because guess what happens? If he played in his mind, if he plays with another star on the team, you're gonna have a Durant and Westbrook situation.
Only if you make it that way.
2 stars, but Kobe would make it that way.
It all depends on your attitude, your way of how you feel about each other.
And how did they come into?
Just a quick observation here with Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin, and Emmitt Smith. Emmitt and Michael, they said, okay, Troy got to handle the ball.
Excuse me, we're talking NBA.
I know, but I'm just giving you an illustration. Somebody
we're
had
talking NBA. This is
but I get your point. The point is you got 3 stars on that team. I think the difference in your analogy is
you don't eat no dinner.
The difference in your analogy is we're talking NBA.
Well, I think
you're
the
talking
difference in your analogy is
let's go back to
give me another NBA team.
Magic. Okay, Magic and Olajuwon.
No, it's Magic and
Magic,
Worthy
and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Worthy, and then you had
Green.
Yeah, Cooper. Michael Cooper. Yeah.
And then Scott came along.
Yes.
But it started
all played well together.
But it started with
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
And then it went to Magic. And Magic kept it up with all the rest of the team players.
But again,
what's my other boy that had the weird jump shot in the corner?
That's Worthy. I got it.
Not Worthy.
AC Green?
No. Wilkerson. He had that little twist. You remember what I'm talking about?
Wilkerson?
What is that name?
On the Lakers?
Yeah. It was a little twist jump.
But he hit that.
I think you mixing it with NFL.
No, it's later on. Let's do this right. We need to go. We ran a long time.
Wait. Substitute says that Kobe selfishly won 5 rings. He did though. He did.
You got to give him his props.
He did.
Let's do this right here.
I still don't like him.
Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're getting into the entertainment time. Fast, our guest will be calling at 15.
I'm about to give y'all
So we're gonna take a quick break and then come back with Security with Miss Entertainment. This has been 401 Sports Talk Radio on PhoneRadioNetwork.com. We'll be right back. All right. We're back. 401 Sports Talk Radio, PhoneRadioNetwork.com. What's happening, peoples? Getting
West
into
Side?
the hour of power. The time we come to say hi to.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you very much. Not much going on for me in the entertainment world because we have a guest that's going to be calling in today. So I have entertainment trivia, and I have just one little news that's trending for entertainment. So the trivia question is, what film had this line? I hate it when you've got someone in your face and you try to give someone a hint and they won't leave, and then there's that big awkward silence.
Ooh.
That was silent.
That's the awkward silence you're talking about?
Awkward silence. Somebody all up in your face and they just talking to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know who it is? You don't know the movie?
Say it again.
What film had this line? I hate it when you've got someone in your face and you try to give someone a hint and they won't leave, and then there's that big awkward silence.
It's a film?
It's a movie.
It's a movie?
The Thin Man?
Shrek.
Oh. Okay.
Anyways, that's the trivia question. There's no prize or anything. Nobody said anything. So, but Cedric and I were talking a little bit. I noticed the news today that Roseanne has been canceled. Who watched Roseanne growing up?
I'm glad.
Anybody?
I did.
I
You
did.
did? Did you like the show?
It was okay.
It was stupid.
It was kind of funny. It was.
Okay.
They dealt with
the source.
They dealt
Consider
with.
the source?
No. Listen,
I liked Roseanne growing up.
listen what they
And
did.
I actually watched the reboot.
I didn't watch the reboot.
I was watching the
Well, let me ask you a
reboot. They
question.
had some.
If your children would have acted that way towards
I beat the
you,
snot
you still like
and something else out of them.
Wait, like black folks didn't act like that.
No, I just
No, you're right.
But I'm telling you, if you watch the reboot,
Now
it was
later
even worse.
generations, yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. The reboot was even worse. The kids of the kids was acting a fool.
Now I'm trying to understand exactly what did she do?
Well, anyway, so
She
she's
was a
been
waitress.
tweeting something
They
crazy.
caused her to be
Oh.
canceled.
And today, or not today, I think it was yesterday, she tweeted
Yesterday.
something about one of Obama's aides, Valerie Jarrett,
Yeah.
and she said, hold on a minute, I'm gonna find it.
No, she said. Well, basically, she said.
She said that it looked like it was
like
a Muslim and an
plain
aide put together had a baby, and then she used VJ, the initials.
Okay, go ahead, come
Not that VJ.
No, I got.
He got all excited.
Wait a minute, come on.
Not that VJ.
I thought about something. This is the same person who sung their national anthem,
Oh, that was horrible.
and she gets another chance to
Toe it
come
up.
back on TV.
Yeah, she took the
And
national anthem.
then you come back and make this kind of statement.
But she did it as a comedian. And see, this is the thing that me and Cedric were talking about is that, okay, we give, and I'm not saying that she's right in what she said by any means. You know, you have to be politically correct when you say stuff. But we have so many comedians that talk about other races and say things that are about the race that, like, what'd you say? We say Asians got slanted eyes. We call white people crackers. We call Latinos wetbacks and stuff like that, which is not. We shouldn't. I'm saying comedians in their
will
comedy,
talk about other
they
races.
will say stuff like that.
Nobody
I'm
will.
not defending
Let
her.
me put it like this. I know black comedian. They're talking about their own race first.
But that's what I'm saying. They will. They talk about us in a
Roseanne will
minute.
too. She'll talk about home race also.
Yes, she will, and she does that more than she does say anything else. So that's what I'm saying. She literally was like, she got so much backlash on Twitter that she. Let me finish.
Okay, go ahead.
She got so much backlash on Twitter that she's like, I'm getting off Twitter. I ain't gonna be on Twitter no more. They done canceled her show, and Wanda Sykes quit. Wanda was helping produce that show. Wanda Sykes is African American, so it was so detrimental. The way that what she said was taken to be so racist that it has just blown up, and to the point where she, But I'm saying she's a comedian, and I'm saying that she should still be politically correct, but you have to also remember the source. She's a comedian. She does jokes, and she probably meant it as a joke. I'm not defending her because she has to be correct in how she says stuff. It's to me, it's like a thin line. It's a thin line between comedy and reality and the things that you say.
It's
you know what I mean?
What I'm saying here, I hear you what you're saying. I'm not trying to defend her neither, because she's a comedian. So you expect that, right?
You expect craziness to come out of her mouth.
But y'all president.
Now, he's not a comedian though.
But there you go.
He's stupid.
But, so why he's still in office?
But see, here's the deal. Okay. Let me shut that question down. Okay, let me shut that question down real quick. Unless somebody comes up and say, "I want him impeached," don't say nothing. Don't ask those questions when he do stupid stuff like that. Because unless you're gonna get up and say, "Hey, we know you impeach you, we need to put something together," stop saying that. Don't compare him to Roseanne Barr because heck. People say stupid stuff all the time in Twitter.
And that's my point.
They do it all the time.
But you pick and choose.
Why you going off on her? Why you going off on her and not impeaching him?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's my point right there.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that they are making it like they said it was a racially charged tweet. How many racially charged tweets have we got from our president inciting violence and inciting division?
I'll get one better. Because here's what we don't ever do. What we don't never do, and it infuriates me, is we don't ever charge our own self up.
Right.
We never charge our own self up.
Because you do it all the time.
How many times do we hear a Chris Rock say a white joke? And we sit there and laugh like it ain't nobody's business. Like, oh my God, that's true. How many times we hear Eddie Murphy or something like that, or D.L. Hughley or something like that?
If you read the transcripts, if you don't see the color of the comedian, and you just have a transcript of their show, you would be offended by some of the stuff that they say. And that's what I'm saying. For her to get all the backlash that she's getting, and other people don't get that same backlash when they do the same thing, that's the part that I'm like, okay, come on now.
And here's what she said. She said, I apologize to Valerie Jarrett, to all Americans. I'm truly sorry for making a bad joke about her political...
A joke?
Yeah, about her politics and her looks. I should have known better. Forgive me. My jokes was in bad taste.
Yes, it was a joke in bad taste. And how many other people do jokes in bad taste?
Let's back up just to the president.
Hold on.
He's not a comedian.
He done said so many horrible things about Obama.
He has.
But that's my thing.
About people,
I was just telling Canella this day. We talked about this, and the first words came out of my mouth was, Roseanne knew better.
Mm-hmm.
She knew better than that, because I never looked at the woman as a racist.
I never did either.
But now, look at the world we live in now. You have to be careful what you say if you're not an African American.
But that doesn't mean that she's a racist, though.
And see, it's something you just said. Mm-hmm. What you just did was you just gave her a pass. Mm-hmm. You have to be conscious of what you're saying if you're not an African American. Why is it that if you're not an African American?
We all have to be conscious about what we say.
It's the society we live in now.
No. Everybody should be.
But are we not the ones putting that society out there?
Who?
We're the ones. If you just said if you're not African American.
I mean,
if you're not African American.
So if you are, you don't have to be conscious of what you're saying.
But look, it goes back to Colin Kaepernick's police brutality stand. It goes back to that, but because our mindset is set up to where when we look all the stuff at the news, we go through this in schools, at work. Not to say that we have friends outside of our race that are racist, but we don't know these people's hearts.
Right.
But we don't know our own hearts.
My point is,
we don't know our own hearts.
That's what I'm saying.
Somebody else's.
My point is, she came back with that. And some of my heart believes that. It was a joke, but she wasn't thinking about what she was saying. Right. It just came out not knowing the society we live in. She should have known better.
Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm.
It's not like she consistently do it way she just, we just said about President Trump, about anyone else that we constantly hear about this stuff, and we know what this person means.
What about our own comedians?
That's what
we talk, because if it's wrong to make a racial joke, if it's wrong,
just us,
but it's wrong on both sides.
Exactly. So why do you get one side of
I'm just addressing Roseanne. What was going on today?
But they say
in the global scheme of things, and I just told Canetta this yesterday. At some point, as African Americans, as non-African Americans, we have to come to a meeting and say, "Hey, what can we do to make America great again?"
Yes.
Number one is we start with our own.
Yes.
If I don't like it when somebody calls me the N-word, I can't be calling you the N-word. Mm-hmm. I can't make it okay. I can't say it's okay for you to not call me an N-word, but I can call my homeboy an N-word because right now it's in term of endurance. endurance. No, I'm not
And you know
in.
today Starbucks had that training, that diversity training, because of what happened a couple of weeks ago with those.
And there's nothing wrong with that, but you know what people say? Oh, they're just doing that. But when do we stop and say,
comment on the video?
When we stop and say, you know what? You're never going to please everybody. That's number one. Number two is racism is going to consistently be here to the end of time. That ain't gonna never go nowhere.
I would never say never.
No.
At that point, I would never say
It
never.
will go away because
I might not
most of the
live
kids
to the
are
day
now
racism
mulatto.
stops, but I would never say never.
I'm gonna tell you why it's not gonna go anywhere.
It's gonna go somewhere.
No, I'm gonna tell you why it's not gonna go
Half the
anywhere.
nation is already mulatto. They all mixed. You're not gonna be able to tell who is who. In 40-some years, you're not gonna be able to tell who is who.
You can't tell who's who now.
Right now, even if they white, can't tell if they black. No, really, that's serious.
Now, if I run across my own, that crazy, all I say, that's just Shelly's cousin.
Don't say that. But the reason why I say it's not gonna go away, the reason why I say it's not gonna go away is because number one, this whole thing. And when I say the whole thing, I'm saying
people stop
biblical. I'm saying
teaching their children hate.
in Bible, there's a racial connotation in the Bible. We still don't know. We still arguing about if Jesus was black or white.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
I'm not.
Oh, well, you're not, but you know.
No. He's of color.
He's of color.
But,
I mean,
yeah.
what I'm saying is that's gonna be there.
But the thing about it is, you know how come it's there? Number one, when it comes to racism, black on black, that's where it needs to start.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It starts there.
Within our own community.
You gotta come out of the house and come back in the field. So we can.
I ain't going in no field. I was a house Negro. I'm too fair to be out in the field.
See? It's on our show. Racism.
Well,
we got racism on the show.
I know how you came about. Okay. So we'll leave that alone.
That's cold.
Okay.
What you trying to say?
So keep it moving.
So her joke was
so beautiful.
To former Obama aide Valerie Jarrett saying, Muslim Brotherhood and Planet of the Apes had a baby.
Wait.
Equals VJ.
Hold up.
Not VJ.
Can I say something?
Had Chris Arnold had said that? Or another one of the comedians said
Not
that?
Chris Arnold is right.
No, Chris Rock or another one of the comedians. Kevin Hart said that. We've been laughing.
Well, can I share something with you? Even with her saying it, you know why I really don't feel offended? It's because I know who I am.
I ain't coming from planet
I
Earth.
know I'm not no ape, and I never studied Muslim.
Nuh-uh.
So, in other words,
well, see, the lady hasn't responded. Everybody else responded, but her. She has not said nothing.
But that's the point, right
she
there.
Hasn't made a comment one way or the other.
You know why?
Everybody else.
You know what?
Everybody else.
Because that ain't who she is.
There you go.
That ain't who she is.
Everybody else jumped on.
She's not talking to me.
Right.
You talking about a Valerie Johnson or something like that, or Vale.
But
here's what I'm saying though. What if that had been Kevin Hart that said that? We've been laughing. He's still doing a stand-up because it's okay to joke about politicians. We joke about politicians all the time. It happens all the time.
I think the problem was coming from a white person calling a black person an ape. Because that is the issue. That's why I said she has to be careful. There's a sensitivity there. We shouldn't be calling nobody no ape or monkey or whatever. But you know that is a racist connotation when you call someone an ape or a monkey or a person of color. I know, because that's what they do.
But say if it came from Chris Rock to a white person, would we look at it the same way?
But I'm saying he probably wouldn't have said that.
You wouldn't.
A black person, he would have called a black person an ape or a monkey.
Would he actually?
Because of the...
Trust me, I've heard comedians call them that way.
But my question is, have we heard an African-American comedian use that kind of...
I haven't.
I haven't either.
But if you go back to Red Fox,
No, go back a little bit further. Because they had to do certain things to even get a spotlight.
No, but I'm saying, so you had to call each other out to get that spotlight.
I've heard comedians call each other Uncle Tom.
Yeah. I mean,
I've never heard anyone call another black person a monkey
I might
or
even
whatever.
still use that.
I've heard them call each other the N-word.
But here's what I'm saying, does it matter if once you're called outside of your race, then everything's off the table. You can't say, they called him like
But I understand what you're saying because we cannot penalize this person
Without penalizing it.
And we're not penalizing our own.
Exactly.
Behind,
I'm telling you, because the words racially charged tweet, it was just a sentence that she said. It was a joke. And you say racially charged. How is it racially charged? It wasn't like she did a whole paragraph and then the next paragraph like our president does.
Well, let me
it was one sentence.
Who she support? Does she support?
No, she hates Trump.
Huh?
She can't stand Trump.
But see,
he blocked her, and the Supreme Court had to get him to unblock her.
And
she
what we're
was
not doing,
so against his stance.
What we're not doing is we're not going back to what she said before that.
We're on the phone again.
Yeah, I know this is
Oh, it's time.
Yeah, it's
time for our guest.
It's time for a guest. On our phone right now, he is the incomparable Phazz. What's going on, sir?
Oh man, thank you, man.
Phazzanation.
Yep. I ain't talked to you in like 1,200 years, huh?
Oh yeah, man. Been a hot minute, man.
Hey, Phazz, how you doing?
So
I'm doing fantastic. Everything is awesome.
Okay.
All right.
We got you on the show because you've been blowing up the television scene and the radio scene with
the social media.
Yeah, the social media scene with your cowboy player man.
Yeah, man. Everything's been good with that, man. We've been working hard and making moves, man. Grinding and just trying to put up a great piece of work out there. Man, that people don't love.
Okay. Well, tell us how that started. You work with Cole Beasley. How did that whole thing get started?
Well, it kind of happened through the Cobra High movie. When I was working with Greg Ellis on Arthur Muhammad on that movie, and at one point I became the music supervisor for the film and also was over the soundtrack. And Greg Ellis felt that it would be a great idea for a current Cowboy player to be a part of the soundtrack to bring the hype and the solutions. And so he introduced me to AJ Wilcox, who is, I believe, the safety for the Dallas Cowboys at the time.
Yeah.
And me and him got into it and work, and we hit it all. We made the meetings, and it's going crazy. And the music started floating through the Dallas Cowboy locker room, which began to bring other players over, Jeremy Misc, Morris Claiborne, Greg Hardy, and among other players. So those, I can mention those guys today, the ones that took the most serious. And then Cole heard about it, and he got my number from Jeremy and called me, came together. He let me hear some songs he had made, just, off some instruments with his phone, and he sounded amazing. I was blown away with it. That night I started going through some production and then some beats, and he found it in his life, and I did respond to it, and it came out hot, and we've been rocking ever since. This has been like 2 years now.
Wow.
Awesome.
Did you know that he could rap, or you just figured that out while he's listening to some stuff?
Say again?
Did you know that he could rap?
No, I had no idea. I had no idea.
You was like, okay, well, we're going to see what happens, see what you can do. It's almost like you put me in the studio and I'm just trying to do something, right?
Yeah, no. He just stepped up to play. He's amazing talent, he stepped up to the plate and delivered song after song after song after song. And it was just, we really just imagining and having. So it just did what it did.
So how is it since this situation here, since the Cole Beasley, how has that moved the needle in what you're doing personally or business wise?
You say how is it helping me business wise?
Yeah, how did that move the needle? Are you getting a lot more phone calls now to produce?
Oh yeah, absolutely. No doubt about that. Phone definitely blowing up off the phone, ringing out to her.
Yeah, that's why you can't go to sleep, can you?
Man, it's crazy, man. Yeah, never give too much rest, man. It's always crazy, 24/7, taking power naps, basically.
Now, this is not your first time in the big scene, in the limelight. You've done a couple other projects before, haven't you?
Just
but I tend to get into certain projects, definitely with the film and television arena. where they had some music placed and some Adam Sandler films and some TV shows like Crash and Lincoln Heights and Love Game on Nation Channel and Jingles and McDonald's and stuff like that. So I'm definitely been pushing weight on a lot of different areas like that.
Well, shoot, and you actually did my first theme song for the radio station.
Yeah, I sure did. A while back, way back in the gap, I put something together.
Yeah. and that place over off of Irving. So, what's next on the horizon for you?
Well, right now, we're definitely in the success of 80 Things and Technology and Autobiography, which is now on the rap charts at number 25 on Billboard, and also the R&B rap album. We're at 35 on Billboard as well. And then we're the second week in a row now, so we're going to hang steady and keep the level pushing. And so we definitely have a marketing team, out in California and helping out as well. And some other business partners and stuff that do some things to help the project move forward.
Well, we will definitely keep you in rotation. We got you in about we got you playing about 12 o'clock, between 12 and 2.
Okay, well, I appreciate it. I want to give you a shout out, man. I appreciate you, man, coming from last man and giving me some advertising, some promotions, man, and bringing me live in your show. I really appreciate it.
Well, we got you covered over here. You just keep putting them out there. Put them out there and bring them to me.
Yes.
I got you, man.
All right, Phazz. You've been listening to Phazz Clark with Cole Beasley's song.
Phazzanation.
Phazzanation, yeah.
That's the name of his company.
Where can we? If somebody wants to reach out to you, how you want to do that? If somebody wants to reach out to you, how do they do that?
They can actually reach me through my website, Phazzanation.com, Phazzanation.com. Or they can just email me at codenationrecords.com. Code Nation Records, and that is the name of the record label that me and Cole Beasley started.
Okay.
Is it Cole or Cold?
Cold.
Cold.
COLE?
COLD, because you gotta be cold.
Cold. Okay.
All right. All right. Cold Nation.
You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is.
All right.
All right. Well, Phazz, we appreciate you popping on for us real quick. You want to have think about the he say she say question?
Phazz, you want to get in on this he say she say question?
What is it?
We have a question that we ask every week, and it's the opinion of males versus females. So we have a question, and we just kind of have a little debate going on. If you have time, we'd love for you to join in.
I think I'm going to have to be
Just going to listen in, right?
Yeah, listen in, tune in. Okay, well, we got it.
I appreciate the offer and everything like that. So.
I'm going to be listening to this
right,
album
Phazz,
tomorrow.
We'll definitely put you in rotation. Hopefully you come to the studio next time. We give you a nice little.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. No doubt about it, man. I'm going to hook a new jingle up for you.
Yeah. Yeah. That give you a reason to come on out to the studio.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Phazz, we'll holler at you later then.
All right, Sam, man.
All right, appreciate it.
Good, man.
You too.
All right, peace.
All peace.
All right, that was
all right.
Phazzanation. He
Phazzanation.
did the Cole Beasley did the whole album.
Mm-hmm. He's done some soundtracks and stuff
Yeah.
too. So he's been around for a while. We've known him for years.
Yeah, but good guy.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right.
You ready to get into it?
You ready?
All right.
Y'all ready?
Let's
all
do
right. I gotta hold my own for the females, huh? Where my doc at? She ain't here to hold me up.
Uh-oh.
Okay. So the question is.
Benchwarmer here, yeah.
I need a female.
I
I need a lady to help me out. Is not knowing the passwords or access codes to your spouse's email, social media, cell phone, being naive, or called trust? If you ask for your spouse's password to those things and he or she refuses, how would you feel? And does that say anything about your relationship? Lots of questions in there.
Yeah,
I got this from my friend Cash. She has this couples group
You
called
should break it
Connect.
down. Ask one question at a time.
Okay, well, the first question is not knowing the passwords or access codes to your spouse's stuff being naive or called trust?
That's called trust.
That's called trust.
Called trust. So not having it is calling it
Trust.
is trust.
Trust.
Okay. And if you ask for your spouse's password to those things and he or she refused, how would you feel?
That's called hiding something.
Come on, preacher. What you say?
You know that question you asked about that movie with that solemn.
The awkward silence.
Awkward shrink.
I'm with you, Professor. I think it's hiding something. I think
Not
that
necessarily.
I think that transparency in
Depends
marriage.
Depends on the history.
I think that there should be transparency in marriage. I know that you should have your own things, because we talked about that before, about having your own things, separate from your spouse. But I think that there should be a transparency anyway, even if your spouse doesn't go through your stuff or anything like that. I think that it should be open and available. I just feel like transparency is key.
If you're in a faithful, committed relationship and you're asked that question, there should be no hesitation.
Right.
What I have to hide.
Right. Exactly.
If I'm solely with you,
Exactly.
with no
It should
problem,
be no problem.
no second guessing, no flinch,
Yes.
no nothing.
Well,
I should be able to answer your phone.
well,
You should be able to answer mine. You should be able to pick up my computer. It shouldn't be no issues with that person, with your spouse, being able to do that.
And I've been in the shower many times. My wife will holler at your phone ringing. Okay, answer it. You
Right.
see,
And that's
Exactly.
what I want to do. She answers the phone.
Now I'm going to throw a twist in there, right?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, before
Wait.
you do, she got other parts.
Okay.
And the other part to that is, does that say anything about your relationship? If your spouse refused to give you that stuff, does that say anything about your relationship?
Well, that says a lot.
If there's no trust, yes.
There's that whole, yeah.
If there's no
That
trust,
says
yes.
a lot.
If there's no trust, yes.
So substitute says, why are you asking? You have a phone.
Right.
Go somewhere.
You know me, I go.
See, that's a man answer.
No. I go way out. I go off the beaten path. I'm gonna go off the beaten path because what you don't put on there is what if there are insecurities that not created within the relationship that was brought to the relationship, and so the reason why you ask is not just because you should be able to give it to me. It's because you're looking for something.
But it should be insecure.
But then that goes back to the first
No.
answer.
It's
That goes back to the first
but
answer. Are you
it's-
asking, is it being naive because you don't have it, or is it because you have a trust
No,
issue?
because no.
Trust factor.
Here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying. What if, let's say y'all just got together, right? Just got together, and hey, give me a password.
Not if you first getting together.
No, let's say you're married. Let's say you're married.
But this is a question for married
Okay,
people.
so
You've
let's
been
say-
married for years.
So let's say
Why
you're
would you
married.
not
Let's
have
say you're
your
married.
spouse's stuff?
No, let me ask you a question. Let's say you're married, and you say, okay, cool. So you give her your stuff, and you ain't got nothing to hide. Everything's above board. And she starts asking you, who is Robin? I'm like, she home there. Well, how come I don't know about her? How come this? How come that? Or he starts asking, who is this?
What's wrong with that?
No.
Thank you.
No. Listen to the statement how I'm saying it. Who is this? Oh, they're a friend. That should be end of it.
But
No,
when
no,
you're married,
no,
you
I
guys should
disagree.
know
Wait.
everybody's friends.
How-
I don't
disagree with
agree
that.
with that.
How come I don't know about them?
But why should
Because
that be
you
the
should.
end of that?
Wait.
I want him to ask that question.
Let me
Ask
ask
the
that question.
question.
Okay, who is? I'm gonna take it from me. Let's say I'm looking through your phone. And I see who's Doug? Oh, it's a friend. How come I don't know about Doug? Because all Doug said, hey, how you doing? Oh, I'm good, and that's it.
But answer the question. How come I don't know anything about Doug?
Cause it was probably a passerby or something that's just nonchalant.
Okay.
It could be just a nonchalant. Okay, well,
And
nothing.
that could be true.
Yeah, nothing to know
But
about
as long as
Doug.
you answer the question,
Yeah,
that's what I'm concerned
and the question is
about.
asked
Wait a
now.
minute.
Because,
So what if that question is not
wait a minute.
accepted?
but and there you go.
But wait a minute.
Now, if the
wait a minute.
question-
Doug text her. So that means Doug have her number.
It could be on Facebook.
Oh, is it however?
It could be on. You know how you got so many Facebook friends and you don't know half of them.
But now, exactly, because like my wife asked me about some picture that was on my Facebook. from my class reunion. Because, of course, she don't know everybody, so I had to introduce her to everybody and, you know, this and that.
But that's the key. You introduced her to everybody. It's not somebody that doesn't know that is unfamiliar. If you don't know somebody that your spouse knows, that's a problem.
Well, let me share this with you.
I don't have no male friends that my husband does not know.
Exactly, and I don't too much have homeboy that my wife don't know, okay? But at the same time, let's look at the motive first.
Right.
Okay, let's look at that first. Now, cause let me share something with you. I tell my wife this all the time, or this what she used to tell me. You don't see how she's looking at you.
And women
and
can sense that stuff.
I tell my wife, well, you don't understand what he's asking you. Okay? Cause let me share something with you. Just kick this around. Is it feasible for a woman to respond to every man that speaks to her? And the reason why I say that, if you know the trade of certain guys and how they're not gentlemen, but they're the wolves, okay, it's my responsibility as the head to be a protector to my wife, provider for her, okay, her confidant. So in other words, babe, okay, I know that because number one, I might used to be that.
It might be that serpent in the Garden of Eden
trying
to infiltrate.
Exactly. So you got to look at the motive behind it. Now, I don't have a problem with my wife looking and knowing everything. Because guess what? Either she going to find out while I'm living, or she going to find out once I'm dead.
She's
Lord have mercy.
I'd rather hope it's like
and they be coming up to the casket. That was my man. It was my man.
Hey, I got a little joke about it, really. I told my wife, I said, baby, look at here. When I'm dead and gone, don't worry about them sisters sitting on the other side, dressed in white. They owe me. They gonna carry me up out of here.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, my you get the check.
Oh my goodness. Have mercy.
So here's where I'm coming from. Okay. I don't mind you having anything in mind. Okay. What I do mind is being checked on everything. Because
that's a problem.
That's a problem. Because if it's all casual and everything, who is whatever, they're such. Well, why they call it? They just saying hi. Or why they saying hi? All that right there, I got issues with that. And if that's what we get on a consistent basis, no, you can't have nothing.
Well, if it's a one-time thing, it's not an issue. If it's consistent,
no.
But then you also have to remember why would your spouse ask you those things?
Because there's some
insecurities. But where did those insecurities come from?
They could come from old things that was in the past that you know nothing about. And
let me share it like this. Like he just said, either way, be good or bad, it's some consistent there. Okay. Now when between a husband and wife, trust is built. Okay. Now if you do something down the road that cause their foundation to kind of weaken a little bit, correct? You gonna have to
rebuild it.
You gotta find a way of mending that. Now, can I share something with you? Once a foundation is cracked, the only way you get rid of that crack permanent, you gotta tear up the foundation, pour another one. Cause other than that, you just steady patching it up. Patching it up. You get what I'm saying? So when you patching, she gonna every 5 years it's gonna come up.
But see, and here's what's gonna happen too. I got you on that. Here's what's gonna happen too. It's going to wind up, if you don't rebuild it, it's going to wind up putting trust issues between the two, not just one. Even though the one caused the issue, when they say you're forgiven, what if Jesus Christ said, "I forgive you," and then 2 years later, remember what you did 2 years ago?
That's what Jesus don't do.
Yeah, he doesn't do.
He doesn't do. But here's the deal, though. Here's what happens.
But we do it anyway.
We do it anyway. When the trust is broken, we can say, "I forgive you," it's done, and then come back 5 years later because it looked like that. Oh, so you're doing it again, and you never forgive.
There was no intention there.
There was not.
But number one.
Go ahead.
Number one, can I say we're not Jesus.
Right.
That's
Exactly.
Right.
That's the truth.
Not perfect.
You're right,
but yet we are followers of him.
Mm-hmm.
And just because we're followers of him does not mean we're going to take every step he made.
Mm-hmm.
But we ought to come close to it.
Yeah, but
now God said, when I forgive you, I throw it in the sea of forgiveness, never ever to come up again.
Mm-hmm.
We Shelly got a sticker pad. She writing a note down on this day. She folded it up, putting it in her back pocket.
Okay, go ahead, Lewis.
No, I'm just saying, when he started doing this, I'm like, love doesn't record a record.
There you go. Yeah.
So if I say I forgive you, the next step is, am I gonna have to be careful of something I may do that may cause her to think that way again?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I'm not doing it, but you have to watch your actions.
Right. So let me ask you a question. Then you then start living on the tippy toes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what I mean, walking on
eggshells.
the eggshells because here's what happens when the trust issue is broken. Okay, it's hard to get to rebuild that trust issue. So let's say if
it takes time.
It takes time. So let's say if let's say one of the trust issues was you said you wasn't gonna smoke cigarettes no more. All right, I'm gonna do something.
You come back and you smell like smoke.
Keep it light, yeah. And you come back and you smelling like smoke. There's an argument.
Mm-hmm.
You could have been in a restaurant that was smoking and it got on your clothes, but there's an argument. And you wasn't doing nothing but, hey, I wanted some hot dogs. That just happened to be there and he got it.
That's a great point.
You know?
That is a good point.
And you didn't do nothing. So then you come back and, 2 years later, down the road, same restaurant, same hot dog. So do I not go in that restaurant because they got some good hot dogs? So I don't go in there so she won't think I'm doing something.
Mm.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the trust part she got to overcome, or he
Right.
got to overcome. Because if you tell her the truth, you got nothing else to worry about. But if she is struggling with you telling the truth, but she got to work on it, or he got to work on it.
Here's what happens though. Once the trust is broken, the person that did not break the trust does not think they have an issue with trust. They're saying it's your fault. You're the one who did it, so you gotta prove to me that you ain't gonna do it no more. So that cigarette, there ain't nothing happened. I just there. Well, you ain't proved it because you smell like smoke. 2 years down the road, you're doing it again. You smell like
that person got an issue.
Yeah.
But that person doesn't know they got an issue.
Okay, so the audience comment going back to forgiveness, it says unless you're married to Jesus, that doesn't work. That was Eric Wise, and that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. We're not Jesus. Yeah, nobody here is Jesus, so you're gonna have a struggle. And I'm gonna just say from a woman's perspective, like you said,
that's a great point.
Yeah, and when the trust is broken, it takes time to rebuild that trust. And if there's any inkling, if there's any hints of wrongdoing, it's not that you wrote down and said that you did all these wrongs or whatever, but there are going to be times when those things that you did, there's some kind of there he goes. Whenever trust is violated, I believe forgiveness can take place, but we have to understand there is a repair process you have to go through. And if you don't want to deal with that process, you should consider not being in that relationship. Exactly, and that's the point I'm trying to make, is that there's a process you have to go through. And I feel like if the person that has done something wrong and the person that's trying to rebuild a trust in that person, if they ask questions, those questions should be answered with no hesitation, no doubt or whatever, until the trust is rebuilt again. It
All right,
takes
so
time.
I will get my cigarettes.
But you can even say, okay, you know what? I'm going to take you to this place and I'm going to show you that there's smoke around here or whatever. And just to tell you that I'm just trying to tell you.
You know what's going to come
blah,
after
blah.
that thing?
What?
I can
Why
show.
you up in that place?
There you go. There you go. But now let me share something with you. Now, if you really want somebody, if you really want to look at this, we violate trust every day. Let me show you how. When we sin,
Yes.
we violate our trust with God.
Yes, we
That's
do.
true.
Yep.
So
It's just like we were saying. I'm putting the Roseanne Barr thing back on the table. We don't want her to do it, but we can do it to others. We can call people out of names, but it's wrong for you to do it to me.
Right.
like you said, we violate trust every day. So you can't. I don't think we have. I think once the trust is broken, whoever broke the trust, yes, their responsibility is trying to mend that trust. Mm-hmm. Once that person says, "I forgive you," because the trust is broken, it's still broken in your heart too. Mm-hmm. So the person who did not even break the trust has to go back and say, "Okay, now I need to get my heart mended."
Okay, if it's broken in that heart, that means that heart might have been broken before I even met you.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. There's a deeper.
That person needs to go back to the bag and get rid of that baggage.
Because you'll never get rid of that.
Because you're not going to allow me through security.
Mm-hmm. Right. You're not. Mm-hmm. You're right. It's going to be like, okay.
Why you say security?
I did catch that. Yeah, but you're not going to allow me to. And part of that says, you know what? Now, because once that trust is broken, the person that is broken against goes on the defensive. Mm-hmm. They start putting up walls because they don't want to be hurt again. Yeah. So now you need to you need to dig through these walls. And while I'm not going to allow you to dig through those walls, the sin that's happening within that person is still there. Right. What I mean by that is this: I broke the trust. I asked for forgiveness. Mm-hmm. I'm doing everything I can to get you. To build that trust. Mm-hmm. Here's what you're doing. You're back talking me. You're going against this. You're going against that. And now you feel like you have the right to. Mm. Because now, here's what you're doing. You're consistently sinning against. You're not sinning against the person you broke the trust. You're sinning against God now. Mm-hmm. And you think, okay, well, I'm not doing it because he did A, B, and C. And God said, well, I thought you already forgave him.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I'm saying. When a trust is broken. It's not just the person that broke the trust, because now if that person says, you know what, I'm gonna leave it alone, we're good, and that's one thing, you know. But now if every time, I smell smoke, that ain't smoke you smell. Heck, you know I work in the warehouse. What you been doing smoking? Well, so now we got to go through this years after years after years and years because they may not want to forgive you the way they say they forgive you.
I know. And this one I had a previous job driving for Dart. Mm-hmm. And some
that's when y'all was hitting me with the dart.
Yeah. So, but this is one particular lady would get on my bus every morning, finishing getting dressed. Well, the one thing putting up makeup and stuff like that. But the one thing she would do last, Professor, would put on her perfume.
So she sprayed up the whole.
And she's sitting right by me.
You coming home smell like perfume.
So I'm not catching it.
Right.
My wife at the time she let it go by a week, 2 weeks, but what really proved my case was I'm coming home the same time every day. Mm-hmm. Okay. Number one, at that time, my cell phone was on her account.
So she could check.
So she can check everything. Mm-hmm. So she's trying to ask me, where's this perfume coming from? Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm not even paying attention to it until 2 or 3 days later after she asked me the question. Mm-hmm. And I said, that's where it's coming from. And I asked the lady, I said, that's a nice smelling perfume. What kind of perfume is that? She told me. I went back home and told my wife at the time. She wear blah, 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 blah. Well, who is she? She rides my bus every morning. And you know yourself, when we on our way somewhere, you pull out your makeup bag while I'm driving and get in the mirror.
Freshen yourself up.
Then you spray your perfume. Your perfume is now on me. Mm-hmm. So you know it can't happen.
Mm-hmm. But now the trust issue or something like that would be that person, or your wife, would probably may have had some issues in the past.
Very much so.
And then brings it back up. Now that ain't happening.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
So did she believe you?
I should cross the river now.
Did she believe you when you told her?
That's why she crossed the river.
Somewhat.
But she still had that inkling in her head, in the back of her head. Now something's going on.
Because of the past before me, before I arrived. You see, and it's just not on a woman's.
So you never gave her any reason to feel like you would be possibly doing something? Like I think that there can be baggage from the past, but there could also be things that happen in your current relationship that add on to it.
Well, and I shared this one time on a segment of the show. At that point, I was too much into myself.
Mm.
So I didn't give a darn.
Oh my!
I don't care.
Well,
I'm just being honest.
But
I'm just being honest.
But
you know,
to your point, man. To your point, also, you know, if for me, and I have these issues. I have these issues about, you know, if I'm going to forgive you, I'm going to forgive you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we all do.
Right.
You know, and in some instances, everybody needs to step back, take a step back, and say, you know what? If I have that issue, I need to work on it within myself. If I say I'm going to forgive you, then and I don't, then guess what I'm doing? I'm lying to you.
Well, like one of my jobs had me working late. Okay, and my wife.
But this one right here.
Not this one. The job that pays. Okay. But anyway, my wife would make a statement, or we would joke about it. She said, "If you're doing something, the Lord will show me."
yes.
So, in other words,
What's done in the dark will come to the light.
I'm not afraid of my wife. I'm afraid of him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Now, in a sense, yeah. Well, I take that back. I just have to know how to weave and bob.
I read this
duck and
book.
roll, cause she know how to shoot.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I read this book. I think it was Power of a Praying Wife, and the one of the things that the lady said was, "You give everything to the Lord,
Mm-hmm.
and then duck." she said, if your husband is acting up, all you got to do is give it to God and then duck, and He gonna catch it.
Well,
So, you know, in our first years of marriage, that was really hard for me to give everything to the Lord when I had
because
thoughts.
you want to control.
Yeah, because I wanted to say what I had to say, and I wanted to do what I wanted to do. And it was hard for me to give it to God, but I learned that if I just trust Him, eventually it's gonna be taken care of, whatever it is.
And I think part of the problem is,
And same for Him.
when
If I'm acting up, give it to God and duck.
Because it takes two to submit to one.
Yes.
I don't think y'all caught that.
I caught that.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, I've been in the ministry for 37 years come July.
Preach up.
And all the marriage I performed in counseling, I think 5 years ago, I realized I was really only talking to one individual. I was talking to a soon-to-be wife, when I need to be talking to both of them. Because we asked the wife to be submissive, but we never asked the husband to be submissive to God too.
Pastor Evans don't teach that. He teach
You
y'all
know,
both submit.
But I'm just saying, he been in the ministry longer than I have. You follow what I'm saying?
Right.
And I heard it, but I didn't really catch it. You know what I'm saying? But you know,
Because it says submit you one to another.
But if you
As
look
unto
at
the
Paul's
Lord.
letter to the Corinthians, when we're talking about a protocol in headship, that Christ is the head of man. That means, man, you are submissive to Christ.
Right.
And then it comes back, the covering to the wife is the husband.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
The wife has no covering at all. Her covering is the husband. What both of them covering is Christ.
Right.
And even Christ's covering is the Father.
Right.
So,
Go ahead, preacher.
So when you talking about trust, you're talking about love. I think my good friend and I agree in talking about love and happiness.
Love and happiness.
Make you want to do right, make you want to do wrong. Yeah, you had all that money bullshit that brought you home.
Oh my God! Stop.
Y'all know I was gonna finish that out.
Why y'all get him started?
I was gonna finish that out. but
only Benchwarmer.
I'm gonna tell you a small story about me and Canetta before we got married, and this is after my first divorce. This was 2010.
You had more than one divorce?
I only had one divorce.
Oh, okay.
One.
You said after your first divorce as if you had a second one.
Well, that was my only divorce. You're right.
Okay.
You're right.
I was like, wait a minute, I learned something new today.
This was 2010. we just began the dating scene, and I had my own crib. After I left my first wife, I had my own place in Oak Cliff. It was just a 1-bedroom, $495 a month, all in the dishes. And
it's them days.
I always, it was unhealthy, but I had ate out a lot because I wasn't really, I was still getting over the first marriage. And
gotta do that to you.
We decided to have a dinner for two inside of my house at my little table in the kitchen. We ate dinner, and then she drank some champagne. I drank some water, both glasses. That drinking stuff. But so
we know about you and that drinking stuff.
So
hey.
She had drunk her glass of champagne, and it was gone. We had called it the night. She had went home. She had set her glass on the table. I set mine on the table, and maybe a week went by, and she came back to the house, and I went in the bathroom, used the bathroom, and I came back out, and she was just in tears.
Aww.
And I'm like, what's wrong? She said, I don't want to talk about it. And so she went home upset. I didn't know what I did, if I did anything. So she's very non-confrontational. So she finally said what she said on the phone. She said, did you have somebody over there in between the last time I've been over there? I'm like, no. She said, you sure? I said, yes. I said, what's wrong? She goes, there was a glass on the table with lipstick on it.
Oh, it was her own glass.
And my response was, that was a glass you drunk out of.
Yeah, I don't clean up.
And she got real.
Like it's been there for 2 weeks.
And she got real quiet. I said, I don't wash dishes around here.
I ain't got to clean up.
It's been sitting there since you last left. I go to work, come back, take a shower, go to bed.
So you should have cleaned up by the time you got there.
And she sat there and thought about it, and she said, I'm so sorry. That was my lipstick. She had to go back and make sure that the lipstick she had in her purse matched the one on the glass.
See?
I don't clean up. What you think this is?
Yeah.
I cook dinner.
and she apologized to me. She said, I'm so sorry. In that instance, I'm thinking, okay, where's this coming from? That's all I could think about. Because I know I had no conversation.
Where's all this coming from
over there. It's just been me. Even though I could have had all kind of women over there, but that just wasn't me. I wouldn't even hold myself long enough to even invite somebody over there like that, because I was always working 12, 14 hours a day. Come home, take a bath, I'm out. Yeah. So she came back. I mean, everything was just the way she had. I didn't clean up. It was just sitting right there.
Wow.
The whole
I don't know, Louis. I don't know if I would have dated you after you told me that.
The roach is still right there.
Wait a minute. I don't know.
He got the straw.
I'm going to be cleaning up around here.
I mean...
We got another audience comment from Eric Wise.
Okay, go ahead and read it.
You want me to read it?
Okay,
Eric Wise said, no, well, that's the second comment. The first comment, talking to a young couple months ago, the young man had a history of unfaithfulness, and the young lady said she wanted to move forward in the relationship. My advice to the young man was, you have to be willing to deal with the damage control. After all, you're the one who created this madness. But to the young lady, I told her, if you're really wanting to save the relationship, you have to give him the opportunity to demonstrate change. He was really upset that she installed software on his phone that monitored the website and activity. But I told him, if that's what it takes for her to be okay until trust is built, keep that software on that phone. I've heard about that software.
What a great
It's called.
You know what I would have done? Number one, I would have said this right here. I mean, this is just real honest. You know this type of person.
Why would you even get married to him?
I would say, if he is that way, if he is that unfaithful, why would you want to consistently? Because now what we're trying to do is control. Mm-hmm. And you cannot control his behavior, even if you wanted to. Okay. And you're gonna wind up being miserable at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think I would have advised them to get married.
My dad used to tell us, because it was 8 boys.
Never don't change his spots.
I'm
just saying.
You gotta say about my daddy.
I'm talking about this right here, what he said about this young man being unfaithful.
Snap on my daddy.
I didn't even know your daddy.
But no, just the thing about it is, I don't care what you put on a person. You can put a tracking device.
Mm-hmm.
You can put a chip
They
in
gonna
them.
do it, they gonna do it.
You can hypnotize them, but they will not change unless they want to change.
It's got to be a heart change.
Never control a
from
person.
above.
Right.
And
it's a mind thing.
And the fact that she actually said, I want to continue to go on with the lecture,
So,
there's a lot more going on with her.
Yeah. Yeah, she needs to sit down.
Insecurity.
Yeah, but that's
Want to be married so bad.
No, well, it might be this.
Some women just
It
want to
might
be
be
married
so much
bad
of an
just to be
insecurity
married.
that you
I
can't
ain't
think
trying
you
to
can
be
get
married
anybody
just to
else.
be married.
Well, it can be more than just married. Whatever that individual is doing in life,
Self-esteem issues.
it could be the prestige that person
Pride.
or that you want to be up there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
My advice would be, you know what? You're actually asking for more trouble than you think you are.
Yes, yes.
And how
if
much
he has a
trouble
history
do
of
you want to
unfaithfulness?
ask from that? I would say stay away until he gets better. If he wants to get better. Because he may not
He'll
get
prove
better.
it to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She'll prove it to you.
Yeah.
Right.
Because, you got some women out here.
Because, see, you putting that tracking device on his phone and all this other stuff, he could easily go get another phone.
There you go.
He can go to work and get on the computer.
Well,
It's all kind of ways. I mean, technology is what it is. He can go get him a little prepaid phone and call a side chick if he wants to.
That's what I'm going to tell you because
You can't.
on
You can't stop it if it's going to happen.
my first marriage,
You got prepaid.
it was in the truck. It was in the trunk of my car.
Boy, you need to stop.
I'm serious.
I got to say this next response.
Okay.
I think he was talking directly to you.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I saw it.
He said, you know you're lying. She drinking the sinner's nectar and you drinking holy wine.
Right. Okay, and then he says, to be clear, his struggle was not physically, it was online. Okay, so it was like pornography.
Online temptation.
Like online temptation,
Yeah.
so like
I
pornography.
want to get back to the
But
whole.
that's still a struggle. That's still a struggle.
Wait, and Eric, he didn't say he had 2 glasses of water.
It could have been just a conversation because there have been where marriage have been broken up because not so much
Physical.
Yes, anything physical, but just having a conversation.
But that's what I'm saying. People don't believe in emotional infidelity, but it is real. It's real. If you can sit there and share emotional and intimate details with someone other than your spouse, you're cheating.
Right.
You're cheating. And if you you know what I mean? I think that you should be vulnerable with one person that God gave you. That's your spouse.
Mm-hmm.
You can vent, but to give intimate details, to be sharing photos and exchange and stuff like that, even though you don't do things physically, that to me is still a form of unfaithfulness.
Eric
And I think that's what he's saying.
Eric Ross said, so you had holy water. He did say, he did reiterate 2 glasses.
Holy water.
For those that don't know, that's my brother-in-law. He's married to my older sister.
Oh, hey, brother-in-law.
He's always been faithful to the show since I started.
Yeah. So he drinking holy water now.
I swear, that's all I drank was straight spring water.
I ain't seen Phil the Jazz with some wine and mimosas like she had on Saturday.
It ain't from the, okay. So we got the question.
So the question, did we answer the question? So the first part of the question was if not knowing the passwords or access codes to your spouse's email and stuff, naive or called trust?
I said trust.
Okay,
I think
so
it's
everybody
trust.
said it's trust.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the second part.
And the second part, if you ask,
Wait a minute.
For the record, I'm going the opposite.
you're going to say it's naive not to
But
have it?
why are you going to for the record? Go tell the truth, brother.
Why? Why is it naive not to
And
know?
first of all, we use CDs around here. We ain't got no vinyl no more.
Well, you remember
So for the record,
I stated it all depends on the motive.
right.
The motive.
The motive behind why you want to see. Now, my question is,
I just think there should
don't
be
have a
transparency.
problem. I don't have a problem with my wife knowing anything about me. because knowing everything about me, because she needs to know. What if something happens?
What if something? That's what I'm saying. What if something happens to you?
I don't have a problem calling my wife while I'm at work because I move around on my job.
So his answer makes sense. That's the motive part.
The motive part.
The motive part could be,
why would you just come
I already got trust issues you don't know about, so let me try to find a way to counter that. Or it could be mercy. I just want them just because, tomorrow's never guaranteed.
Right. And see, in the way my wife go to work, well, I need to know you made it to work okay. Okay? You see what I'm saying? Because if I don't know, well, look at it like this. It's been spouses didn't find out that their spouse was in an accident, maybe till late on in the day, or something had happened while they was, going from home to work. And I tell my wife, I'm not trying to keep up with you. I'm just trying to make sure you stay okay. Even when I'm at work, like I said, I move around. I drive a lot while I'm at work. Baby, I'm running over here. Baby, I'm running over here. Because if something happened, because she watches the news a lot. So she'll call me and say, well, baby, you going over that way, like you said, the traffic is bad. Because I don't watch the news at all. But I'm just sharing with you, we keep each other informed that, okay, it's not a matter of trust or not trusting each other. It's just keeping each other informed. So if anything occurred, well, he said, the last spot, he said he was going to the church.
Let me make
and
sure.
if you don't make it,
and if I don't make it to the church, she know where to start backstepping. Okay, he just left Cedric house.
Yeah.
Okay, let me call Cedric. Okay.
So I found you that one night.
He ain't never made it.
Because I knew where he was going.
Wait, I'm gonna tell you what happened one night. I had gotten off at work at 1 o'clock. I stopped by QT off of 20, and it was so late I got out because she liked the type of ice they had at the time. It was a shaved ice. Guess what I did?
What?
I turned off my car, but I got out and it locked everything. I didn't even have my cell phone on. I'm still watching my wife blow up my phone. Now that's the bad thing about technology. Technology messes up your memory. Sure. I'm trying to sit here thinking, what is my home number? Because I don't want to use that phone. And I know, and on my cell phone, all I gotta do is pop it up. It dials her cell phone. You know how I got my wife to come get me? I knew my sister's home number.
Wow.
And got her, and I know she knew my home number. And that's how, but I'm just sharing with you.
That's crazy.
She knew I should have been home by a certain time because I just talked to her leaving the job.
Right.
Okay, so the second part of the question is, if you ask for your spouse's password to those things and he or she refuses, how would you feel, and does that say anything about your relationship? So what was your answer again?
She got my passcode to my debit card. She got all my information.
That's the most important thing.
As a married couple, there should be no refusal reason.
Right.
I mean, it's just,
I have heard it.
If we became one when we got married, then what's the problem? That's just how I look at it.
Right. I think if your spouse refuses, there's a lack of trust. It goes back to the first question.
I remember I said you're hiding something.
It could be either or. I think it's more, well,
I don't know if it's always you're hiding.
I don't think if you're hiding something. I think it could be because there's a lack of trust, because maybe something has happened in the past. Maybe you gave your spouse your passwords and they went and went buck wild looking through everything, and you just like, okay, hold up, back up,
my wife not like
reel back, and let's try this again. And I'm gonna give you the password to my debit card, but I ain't gonna give you the password to my email.
But why would you become a prisoner of your own past? If this should have came up before we tried to
right, there you go.
We should be a prisoner of our own past after we got married.
But some of the issues,
it goes back to rebuilding trust.
Yeah, well, that sounds very good. I'm just saying, sometimes to build that trust, and this might be something that happens, during the relationship over time. So there's got to be a building, and it may seem as simple as, oh, here you go, but then let's say you do that, and the next thing you know, you get back to the same point 2 days later. Well, who is this and what is that and this and the other? You know, you're going. There's no building there. There's no okay. You know.
But then it goes back to what he said was, what's wrong with answering the question? Who is this? Who is that?
No, there's nothing wrong with it unless everything unless the motive, because sometimes the motive could be, oh, I'm gonna find something, right. And then you look through 800 things that happened. Something happened like 200 years ago, and I saw you talking to Moses. And
but see, what that is, talking to Moses, that's for real.
No, what that is,
you better be talking to Sarah.
I don't wanna be talking to her.
What that is,
but I'm just saying, there better be a woman you talking to, not a man.
There's no. See, there has to be growth on both parties. When the trust is broken, both parties got.
But don't we have to understand that? I used to go through that with Jill, but your name is not Jill. Your name is Jane.
Right.
But what if it's
you
Jill?
Don't understand. That's not that simple.
I know I'm saying that simple, but if you knew it wasn't that simple before you got with Jane, you should have left what Jill had over there and worked on yourself before you got with Jane.
You don't know it's that simple. You don't.
But I don't say every person's.
Everybody's
but don't go into a relationship if you still got issues that you haven't addressed before.
That's on both sides though, and that's the point I'm trying to make. It's not a one-sided thing. It's a two-sided thing. And what we're not addressing is both sides. We're only addressing one side.
I'm speaking of a person that got the issue of trust.
But that person
I'm walking to a relationship and you ain't done nothing to me.
But that person does not know they have that issue.
Well,
those are deep-rooted things that they don't know that they have.
So now we're talking about communication.
But what does that say about your relationship if you have that issue? If you have to, let me go back to the question. If your spouse refuses to give you their passwords and stuff, what does that say about your relationship?
I say there's no trust.
So
but then you come back.
What does that say? It's not just about the trust, but what does that say about your relationship as a whole? It needs to be worked on. It needs to be worked on.
It needs to be worked on.
Well, you know, life is full of trials and
trials.
Okay. What I do with my wife now, I couldn't do it with no one else. Okay, my wife now actually keeps me rooted and grounded. Okay, she would not let me go. I ain't gonna say let me, but we have a discussion before the big spending. And one of her questions is, baby, do we really need that right now? Okay, but now if I'm away from the house and something occurs where she might need some petty cash, well, she know where I keep the petty cash.
Y'all got petty cash in y'all's? What's your address again?
What's this address? 7326
237. I need some petty cash.
And you don't ever ask another man for money while I'm sorry.
Well, where's the petty cash then? I need some petty cash. We need a petty cash around here. We don't have a petty cash.
Can I share with you?
Can you tell him we need a petty cash?
Let me finish. It's no more than $50. Okay.
That's okay.
It's no more than $50.
We need some petty cash around this house.
It's mainly for a game.
But I need $100 petty cash because I'm on E. My car's on E, honey.
Your car taking $100. You need to get rid of it.
No.
Okay, let's keep it moving.
But I need some gas money.
But anyway, but you know, going back to it, it's still the motive. Why you asking? Okay. I'm looking at both sides here. Okay.
Yeah, because that's one thing Martez said. Why are you asking?
Right.
You know, if
he said you got your own phone. Why you asking?
Yeah, because if the motive is faulty, then what is that?
Because that's the reason why I got her own cell phone. So you won't bother mine. Because when I leave, mine is going with me. Now, when
I'm saying, okay, what if you in the house and your husband's phone ring or your wife's phone's ring? Like I've watched my in-laws. My father-in-law will leave his phone right there next to my mother-in-law. And if it rings, she picks it up.
But you know what?
And if hers ring and he's around, he picks it up. It's no problem between them.
As soon as I get
with their cell phones.
I go in my bedroom. I take everything out of my pocket. I'm putting up clothes. And what I end up is in my recliner chair in front of my big screen TV. But my phone is in there with her. Okay? And do I make it a practice of it? It all depends on how I'm feeling when I come in.
Right.
So in other words, I don't have
we
a
both put our phones on silent.
Yeah. There's no motive behind it. There's no motive behind it.
I know.
We don't want to be bothered.
You know, but
after a certain time of day, shouldn't nobody be calling us anyway.
But here's the deal.
So
there's no motive behind it.
other words, so they don't need to call the preacher then.
No, you a preacher. He's
No.
not. He's not a preacher. You don't need to call him after the time of
Anyway,
day.
there's no motive there.
Right.
That's the point you're trying to make. If there's no motive, okay, whatever. If there is a motive there, you got to check that motive.
Right.
Because if you don't check that motive, then it's going to groundswell. And you know how you say if you looking for something, you're gonna find it. Cause you're gonna find it in your mind. You know your mind.
That old saying, curiosity kills
the cat. Yeah, cause your mind is gonna make you find it.
Right.
And what your mind is gonna do is whether something like something so innocent, you will go through your head, making it look like what you're doing. I told you this, that, and the other. And the next thing you know,
hey, bitch,
I know
you know
one
how
thing.
long.
If I see a woman sending my husband naked, half naked pictures, it's gonna be a problem.
Well,
she the calendar girl.
I'm gonna call up.
Look,
where you at?
Hey,
you know he married.
Security, bitch woman.
Don't
y'all
let
know
the
how
show
large
fool you.
our family is, right?
It
took, I know, at least, and she's still learning our family. She would ask me, well, who was that was hugging on you?
Well, it's your family too, huh?
That's what I say. So she's still learning the females in our family.
Because that's all they are, most of the females.
Right.
Except your daddy had about 1,200 boys.
You trying to say about my daddy?
Look, it don't change his spots.
But the point.
All right, y'all, we got.
Anyway. My hour has gone on long.
Yeah, we got to dig into.
I was taking over the health segment since she's not here. Since she wasn't here to back me up with y'all crazy men.
I don't know how healthy is this when y'all leave now.
It's gonna be healthy. I told him, you know what? When I come up with these questions, I try not to make them personal because I don't want, the whole reason why I haven't been on the show in the past is because he felt like we would have these questions. And then it would go past the
If I knew you were going to handle the health segment, handle the health segment of the show, I would have bought me some ribs.
Ooh, ribs. I've been eating ribs since Saturday. Yeah.
Okay, so let's keep it moving.
Okay, anyway, yes. That was a great question, huh?
That was a good question.
So I don't think we answered the last question, though. What does it
We're
say
gonna
about
keep
your relationship?
Y'all got issues.
Okay. You got
always have
issues.
Well, that's why I got newspapers.
Go take the trash out.
There you go. Yeah, man. So, Lewis.
Yes.
You want to dig into wings conversation?
Give us some Dallas wings.
No health.
Well, we was just healthy in that right there.
Well, she wanted to talk. Okay, she wanted to talk about thyroidism.
Yeah, but it's
not past her time.
Yes, you got 2 minutes.
Okay, well, I'm gonna tell you about thyroidism.
No, you got 2 minutes.
I'm gonna tell you about that. I'm gonna just give you the description of what thyroidism is. Okay, what are the symptoms of an abnormal thyroid? Dry skin and brittle nails, numbness or tingling in the hands, constipation, and abnormal menstrual periods.
I got these restroom.
Boy.
Wait, what about that last one?
I ain't got that.
Y'all ain't got that last one. Hopefully, you better not.
Got nothing to do with me.
And then here's some other signs and symptoms. Feeling cold when other people do not. Muscle weakness. Weight gain even though you're not eating more food. Joint or muscle pain. Feeling sad or depressed. Feeling very tired and pale, dry skin. And my aunt had thyroidism.
That's called it. No, sound like
it. Sound like that. No.
That's thyroid problems, and we have thyroid problems as African Americans.
Really?
Okay, so white folks ain't got thyroid problems?
I mean, everybody, boy.
Yeah,
my aunt had a
Hey, watch that comment now.
I'm trying to get racism out the show.
Okay. So the basics is that through the hormones it produces, the thyroid gland influences almost all of the metabolic processes in your body. Thyroid disorders can range from a small harmless goiter, an enlarged gland, that needs no treatment, to life-threatening cancer. The most common thyroid problems involve abnormal production of thyroid hormones. Too much thyroid hormone results in a condition known as hyperthyroidism, and insufficient hormone production leads to hypothyroidism. So hyper and hypo. hypothyroidism.
Like Harpo.
Hippo.
Oh my goodness.
You told Harpo to beat me. Now I got thyroidism.
So I'm sure that the doc will give us more details. She's the doctor. I'm not. I'm just reading from WebMD.
All right.
But this was the topic that she wanted to speak on tonight about hypothyroidism and how low can you go?
All
How
right.
low can you go?
Professor,
Yes.
we got
That's
wing.
it.
Yeah.
Yes. So
It's your time. Do we need to take a break? Yes.
No, we keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it going.
Daddy said we need to take a break to the
We're
transition.
in here, so keep it going.
Okay.
So the Wings did play the New York Liberty tonight. Wings went into this game 2-2 on the season, 1-1 on the road, and the Liberty has yet to win a game. And Dallas led after the first quarter, 31-14,
Woo wee.
and they went into the fourth quarter with a 9-point lead and blew it.
So I knew we were going to go that route.
The Wings ended up losing to the Liberty 94-89 after the Liberty had a 35-point fourth quarter to Dallas's 21.
Man.
Tina Charles of the Liberty scored 34 points in this game. And the leading scorer for the Wings was, again, Liz, our newest five, Liz Cambage.
You corrected us on that last time.
Good
She
job.
scored 28 points and 16 rebounds,
Wow.
and that still wasn't enough
Wow.
to beat
Somebody
the Liberty.
step up.
Skylar Diggins had 20 points and 7 assists. The Liberty took the 89-86 lead with less than 2 minutes, I think, in the game, and then Skylar committed an offensive foul, and that sealed the deal. And she went on Twitter not too long ago saying that she really needs to step her game up.
Skylar did.
Yeah, she went on Twitter and admitted she needs to step her game up. But Dallas had led most of this game, and they blew it.
Is that coaching?
I'm gonna say this: Gloria Johnson is injured with the hamstring injury.
That's her.
So they took Kayla Thornton off the bench to start in her place. So now the bench is struggling with even scoring points. Ariel Powers is still out with a quad injury, and Teresa Plaisance is still banged up with her torn MCL. So your main bench players and one starter,
Are hurt.
and Ariel Powers is your sixth man, they're injured. Other than Azure Stevens, who scored 10 points in this game, they have really no scoring.
They just got 5.
Sanaya Chung hasn't done anything since the season started. They are really struggling from getting production from the bench right now.
Since the Wings have been in Dallas, they've always started with injured players.
Yeah, it was Skylar Diggins at one point.
Yeah. And then last year it was, I think Glory Kane was hurt. They always started with injured players.
Yeah.
And so they always.
And don't forget they when the WNBA season is not happening, they go overseas and play. And they get injured. They get injured.
And then they come back, and you gotta build back up again.
Yeah. So the Wings lost a heartbreaker tonight. Had the game in sole control, and again, Cambage she is just balling right now.
Yeah.
And her efforts are being wasted.
Yeah, I'm gonna say she need help around her.
And she got the help. The problem is it's either injuries or it's just not getting assistance from the bench.
On a certain day, the help is there.
The Wings are now 2-3, and they come back home to play Seattle here at College Sports Center on Saturday.
On Saturday, that's the Teachers Appreciation Night.
Seattle
What time is that
Storm.
game?
I believe at 2 p.m.
I thought it
No,
said-
6
Okay.
or 7.
6
Yeah,
p.m.
I'm sorry, 6 or 7.
The beauty of this whole thing is they're starting off better this year than they did last year.
Yeah, I sure hope so.
Well, I'm saying they scored. I mean, they at least won. Last year they was 0-4, 0-5 before they won the first game.
Right. And before this game, they beat Atlanta again in Atlanta 78-70. In between the last time we had show and tonight, and so they finished the 9-game road trip 1-2. Something you really want to happen, but
1-2 and
the Washington Mystics right now are 4-0. They are top of everybody.
And
They have yet to be beaten.
they're playing them this Saturday.
That's led by Alina Deladon, who I call the the Dirk Nowitzki of the WNBA because she built just like him.
Oh my goodness.
No,
built like Dirk
yeah, she's
Nowitzki?
tall and lanky and shoots like him.
Wow.
Germany.
I don't know about that part. But they are 4-0. And then the LA Sparks are 3-1. Candace Parker just came back yesterday for the first time to missing 5 games because she was injured.
She was injured, yeah. Which means that LA is going. They just picking up steam.
Yeah. So, you asked the question: is this coaching? The verdict is still out. Their bench is suffering right now.
So you got to mix up the bench.
We're only 9 deep right now.
Only 9, yeah.
3 of our 12 players has not played.
Well, you're actually just
to start the season.
You're actually just 70 because even though they're on the bench, they don't mean they can play.
We're not getting any production from the bench, and most of our production is coming from the starters. Karima Christmas Kelly is off to a slow start as well.
And then you can't play the starters for all 48 minutes.
True.
We don't have that many LeBrons in WNBA.
Boy.
So that's our Wings update, and we looking forward for them to get back on track against Seattle this Saturday evening. See what happens.
Okay.
How are the Elite Spartans doing?
They keep forfeiting games, I believe.
Are you
What?
serious?
I think they forfeit. I mean, check them and see because
Why are we forfeiting?
well, the
Why?
team don't want to play them.
They too good, huh?
Yeah,
They are truly Spartans.
they beating teams.
Yeah, because that first game was off the chain.
The second game
So
was
you
too.
forfeit the game for you a child to play?
That's crazy.
The other team forfeits.
Wow, now that ain't heard of.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they.
Hmm.
I don't know. So they just out practicing now.
We need to go to a practice.
Yeah, I know. Speaking of football, well, the verdict came out last week.
Mm-hmm.
See, forfeit. The San Antonio was canceled.
Wow.
Look at the games. 68-0. 69-0 Houston.
68-0, 69-0 canceled.
And this is football.
So they rescheduled it to June 9th at San Antonio at 7 p.m.
Yeah. Then they're playing Houston Energy.
Which is
They
who
have
they played
not.
on May 6th.
Is this the beginning of the season?
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
have not given up one single point to start the season.
None.
Nope.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
That's something we should be proud about.
yeah. The NFL came out last Wednesday
Uh-oh.
and said that teams must stand for the national anthem.
Oh,
Here we go.
Here
And
we go.
if you do not stand, you have the option of staying in the locker room until the national anthem is finished.
So they locking you up in the locker room.
If you do come
That's
out,
not locking them up.
if you do come out, you
must
must stand.
stand.
And if you do not stand, you will be penalized.
So,
Either the player will be fined or the team will be penalized.
So in other words, the NFL is more concerned about their money because it's really just a money issue.
No, the NFL is more concerned of playing football and not politics on the football field.
Well, okay, when you talk about the national anthem, when you talk about that flag, that's not football.
No, that's a part of their. That's a part of.
No.
Yeah, it's because it's been a part of the NFL way before these players got here. It's almost like when you go to work.
But let's not lose the purpose of why he was doing what he.
We already did that. We made it about the flag.
Yeah, they made
No,
it.
not they. When he kneeled while the national anthem was going, he made it about that. He came back and said police brutality, but then in the locker room, he said, because of the national anthem is a racist song.
Yeah.
No, it's not. I went and did research and study, and I'm going to tell you what the national anthem is all about. It was War of 1812. It was on Fort McHenry. It was a fight at Fort McHenry. What it was is the British, what they were doing was they call them hirelings and slaves. What a hireling is it's a mercenary.
Right.
It's a mercenary that's being hired by the British Army to go fight for British. Mm-hmm. So either a hireling or a slave can go and fight for the British Army, and they can fight back America. So what happened is this right here. They fought, and this particular, when he wrote the national anthem, was on this particular, it was on Fort McHenry in September 18th through September 13th to the 18th. They fought, and what he was looking at is, wait a minute now, we're actually winning. So that's why I saw the rockets were blared, the stars and everything. We actually won. Only one, the casualty during that war is just that one war he was talking about was very minimal. They talked about one black guy and a girl. It was very minimal, but when he looked up, is the reason why Britain lost that war is because they didn't have enough attrition for them to fight. So they said, okay, you know what? Forget it. We're gonna go somewhere else. That's what that was all about. Had nothing to do with, and they talked about the hurling of slaves and everything like that. He only said the reason why he put that statement in, and I'm speculating because no one actually talked to him. But based off of his song or his verbiage before and after, had nothing to do with blacks. It had something to do with, wow, we won. Great. Because he was a lawyer from Washington, and he was just surprised that, oh my God, we won. So that inspired the song. It had, and notice, that was 3 stanzas into the actual song. It didn't become an actual song for America until March 1931, when President signed it as a national anthem. It had nothing to do with slaves being killed. So the statement that Colin Kaepernick made was false. It was only to prove his point, but he only knew it because of police brutality. The national anthem, the people protesting police brutality, not the national anthem. And it became about the national anthem, and it took away from the original protest. And I'm saying, okay, so the NFL is saying, you work for my company. Everybody, we all got a company to work for. I know you work for Lyft, we all got companies we work for. There's a corporate manual. We must abide by that corporate manual. And if we do not abide by that corporate manual,
right here.
we don't have to work for them. We can go somewhere else, can't we? We're not forced to work for them. But while you're working for my company, these are the things that I'm asking you to do while you're working for my company. If you don't want to, I ain't gonna force you. You can go wherever you want to work. But while you're in my company, these are the things I ask for.
Yeah, I looked at that policy, and it's cut and dry.
Yeah.
Well, and once again, we fail to see where the power lies.
And some of the players are saying that the problem that they have with it is that the players weren't consulted. But when I think about it, I'm like, okay, on your job, do they consult you when they make the operations manual?
Yeah.
No, they don't.
No. Let me show you where.
It depends on the job.
No, they have to come back to the union.
No. If it's not a union job, they ain't got to come back to the union.
NFL has a union.
No.
The players have a union.
The players have a union.
That's what I'm saying. It has to go back to them.
But that has to do with their money and stuff.
Right.
No, not just the money. No,
Policies.
not just the money. Not just.
And they're not the only. They're not the only. The NBA has the same policy.
Well,
a must-stand policy. Plus, you got a dress code.
But see,
Right.
okay.
They didn't go back to the union about the dress code.
Now, let me share this with you then. Okay, how many of us? Because I'm only looking at it for one protest, and that is police brutality. Mm-hmm. Now, I can truly say when I looked at the news the other day, when that young lady was at the beach, and the police was beating her, Caucasian on Caucasian. Mm-hmm. And what really ticked off the police when that young lady, to me, I'm speculating here, when he asked her the question, don't you have something better to do? Because the beach she was on, she was 20 drinking, and that was allowed at that beach. Mm-hmm. Okay? And now it was about 4 or 5 police officers on one young lady beating her. Now, like I shared with my wife, I'm not being prejudiced, but now they starting to see what we've been going through for centuries. Okay? Hanging from a tree, burned at the tree. Pregnant women being killed. So when I look at this here, the power lies within the players. Number one, because the owners, the NFL, are making money off of them.
I got one for you. Lewis. Are you making at your job what the owner is making?
No, by a long shot.
Are you helping the owner make at your job what he's making?
Am I helping him?
Yeah. By the things that you do at your job, aren't you helping the owner make the money he's making?
Yes.
Shelly, are you helping the owner make the money that they're making and you're not making half of it, right? Why are we tripping like this is new? When you, guess what, when you go to a job, you're not going to make the same amount of money the owners are making.
But you have one that's standing up and making a statement. Okay? I went to a graduation the other day, and when the lady sung the national anthem, beautiful. I would listen to her voice. Did I stand?
I was going to ask you about that too.
Did I stand and cover my heart? Because my pledge is only to one person.
Well, I understand that. I was going to ask you about that too. When you do go to graduations, and
not just graduation, anybody that does that.
Yeah, and they ask you to stand. Most times we stand, and you said you didn't, but most times we stand. Do you stand for the national anthem when they ask you to stand? Let's say you're at a graduation. Let's say graduation.
I'll go to the Wings games. We stand every time.
Yeah. So the issue has nothing to do with the national anthem, and that's what we're missing. But the issue has something to do with police brutality. And if you want to solve that issue, you don't solve it on the field and say, "Look at me, I'm kneeling." You solve it in these courts.
Yeah, it's a way of getting attention. It's a way of getting okay.
But the attention
let me ask you a question.
To the national anthem.
When Rosa Parks, that boycott started. The garbage men boycott started. The march that Martin Luther King did. It was behind brutality.
But here's what happened though. I'm glad you brought that up.
It was behind
Rosa Parks sat down because she said I should have the right to sit on the front of these buses like everybody else. What was the outcome of her sitting down? We was able to sit on
the protest.
No. They still protest. We still got beat and stuff.
Yeah.
But guess what? We were able to sit on the front of the bus. What she protested about. Let's take the garbage. When you do a protest, you want to make sure that protest is not being filtered by anything else but what you're protesting for. If this is about police brutality, let's go down, because I have every right to go to my city councilor, go down to my mayor, Colin Kaepernick. Use your influence to put something together.
That policy was a scare factor.
No, I think the policy says
it's a scare factor, because my thing is, if I'm taking care of my family, I know I'm taking care of my family. In other words, I don't need no money taken away from me. So you got to make a choice here.
Yeah. Then guess what? If you don't want no money taken away from you, guess what? First of all, I want this to be about football. I'm tired of playing politics in my sport, in my arena. And guess what? As an owner, I own.
Don't athletes talk about politics?
Oh, they talk about it, but I'm saying no. I didn't say you can't talk about it. Y'all can talk about it all day long.
They that's how they get their listen.
No. They can talk about it all day long. I'm saying we honor we honor the flag and we honor the national anthem, because the national anthem is not what you're trying to make it out to be. The national anthem has nothing to do with black or white issue. It has nothing to do with police brutality. It has nothing to do with none of that. So we're honoring the flag and we're honoring our troops because we feel like we're disrespecting our troops for kneeling. Even though some say, I don't really care. Hell, folks in Vietnam didn't want to go there.
Two of my brothers that was in the armed forces, they're deceased now.
Yeah.
Okay. But I don't need no flag to honor them. I don't need no national anthem to honor them.
It's called being collective,
you
right?
Know, you get what I'm saying? So in other words, what I'm saying here is, I know how to honor without a person's flag.
No, you're right. What I'm saying is this right here.
The government comes. I'm gonna show you something. The government itself pick and choose what they want to do when they want to do it. I'm gonna give you a prime example. They say church and state is separate, right?
Supposed to be.
Supposed to be separate. But hell, let an election come up.
We all up in the church, aren't they?
But guess what though?
That's the first place they go.
But guess what
though?
Guess what though? No, they say it, but the Bible don't say it.
But you're not hearing what I'm saying.
I hear what you're saying. You can't pick and choose. But
like you were saying about the comedian.
Yeah, but we all pick and choose. Everybody picks and chooses.
No, you gotta make a stand. Martin Luther King said, if you don't stand for something,
you're gonna fall for everything.
So
we're mad because the NFL is making a stand saying this is what I want.
No, I'm mad about because players won't come together.
Because players don't lose their money.
Well, you won't. Guess who will lose more?
Nobody, because guess what?
No. If they come together, guess who would lose more?
Okay, AD, that's like telling blacks to come together.
Oh, Lord.
Guess who will lose more? I mean, you can't tell them.
Not necessarily, because if we pick a bank and build our own,
we're going to have crabs in the barrel because somebody going to run it.
You know
and
why?
Next thing you know?
You know why? You know why? It's because what has been breeded, what has been breeded down through the years. Let me show you something. We're going there now. Okay. You know how they got those slaves from Africa to come here?
Yeah, they sold us all. We sold each other.
Well, because
we sold ourselves in slavery because we were doing it in the first place.
No, but let me show you the reason why. Now, if I see somebody that don't look like me, I'm cautious. I'm leery.
Mm-hmm.
But if I see someone that look like me,
they're much more cautious.
Well, now I am. But back then, they used the ones that looked like them, that spoke their language.
Right.
And they entrapped them.
And I understand
that. You still have that same concept going on today.
And this is where I'm going to go, which y'all going to really, I'm going to throw everybody else. This is what Kanye West was talking about, that slave, that prisoner mentality. When do you get out of that prisoner mentality? The way you get out of that prisoner's mentality is you got to stop looking at things that way.
No, how you get out of prisoner mentality is become educated.
And
that's how you get out of the prisoner mentality.
But get the hell out though.
Yeah, but
what I'm saying is right here. The reason why that race is not gonna do that, because that majority of that race is still there.
Smoke screen being put up because, like you said, he started out with one, but they came out with so many smoke screens. The purpose was blind. You couldn't see.
And that's why. And here's what you're saying. Well, they should let them do what they want to do. And I'm saying no. If you want to take it back to, the original of why he kneeled. You take the national anthem of the kneeling, you take the kneeling and the nonsense. They said, if you don't want to honor the flag, don't come out. We're not going to find you.
Well, my question is, when the flag going to start honoring our race of people?
No, first of all, the flag is just a piece of cloth.
But you not understand what I'm asking.
No.
Who handles the flag?
We do. We had a black president, and now we don't handle the flag? We got black mayors and black judges. We don't handle the flag?
I understand the question I'm asking.
Yeah, because
who handles the flag? Who's one that said it's full stack or half stack?
If you die, it's half stack.
No, but who says that? Who makes that choice?
I don't know where it came from.
The government, your president.
No. That was done way before president.
I'm just saying, they don't want to make that decision.
Then how come President Obama didn't change it?
No, you're not understanding what I'm saying.
No, I'm really not coming.
Because what I'm saying here is on the government. The government.
Okay, and who's a part of the government? Not just one person. Because the government is made up of legislative, judicial, and 3 different branches. Well, within that government, you got Congress, you got House of Representatives, and that right there, you got mayors, you got congressmen, you got so many people that we voted in.
Well, your mayor, you really started, mayors are just local.
Yeah.
Now, when you get to the governor and on up.
And Senate.
That's what
Congress. We voted these people in. Well, so if we got a problem with our flag, then we can vote them out.
Yeah, I'm going to share it like this. Working the polls like I do. We on a vote.
Exactly. We don't vote.
We really want to make a point.
We don't vote.
We do not vote.
And here's our other issue.
And they will put out, I found information. I found out information by certain ones that got elected, where they said it was point blank. We want to keep the courthouse white.
Yeah, but I hear that.
No, that's all they.
But you got y'all place up in there.
That's all y'all do is hear.
No.
That's all y'all do is hear. I'm not saying you.
We work the elections.
Yeah, but that's all I'm saying is that's all they do is hear. But they do not react by voting. And you got a lot of people, and I like Mr. Price. I don't have no problem with Mr. Price, but okay.
I mean, you got.
How did you change your road? Because you used to go down one street. Now you're going down
the other
street.
He doing it. But what I'm saying is right here. I think we're making the same point. If you want to cause change, and police brutality all right there, you got to get your butt out there and vote. Well, kneeling, watching a player kneel on the sideline and then boycott the NFL ain't doing jack.
Let me show you, Professor. You have bills that need to be paid. I do. You have bills that need to be paid.
Guess what?
You know what they would do? They would walk up in here and put $10,000. This is your radio show. They're gonna give you $10,000 and say, "Hey, get as many people you can with this $10,000." Now, I got a choice. Do I want to accept your $10,000 and give up my principle, or stand for what's right and tell you to keep your money?
That's a different situation. I'm gonna tell you why. Yes, it is. You know why? That's a different situation. I'm gonna tell you why. Because the person that gave it to you, you don't work for them. You did not sign a contract with them. You didn't put your name and say, "I'm going to represent our company." You didn't do that.
They look for you.
No. But still, they can look for you.
They look for you to do what they are paying you to do.
No. Wait. I didn't sign a contract with the person that put $10,000 on the table.
No, when you accepted that money.
No. I didn't sign a contract but see, when I work.
Okay, I'm gonna show you proof. Hey, Shelley, you remember that scene in Barbershop when you remember in the scene of Barbershop when Ice Cube was selling his barbershop to the guy,
to the brother.
To the brother, he held up the money and said, "Now this is like a binding contract.
Yeah, when you take it, but I don't.
Once you receive it,
I don't have
it's
to
like
take
a binding.
I don't have to contract.
I know you don't have to. I'm not saying that.
But the difference you're talking about is this right here. I went through school. I got to college. I do everything I can because guess what I want to do? I want to go to the NFL. Because that's what I love to do, play football. So I'm going to do everything I can do to get to the NFL to play football. And then, guess what? I'm going to negotiate my contract. This is what I want to work. This is what I want to do. And guess what? That's my job. Somebody walk up to me saying, "Here's $10,000. You need to go get a whole bunch of people to tell you and to tell them what I tell you." You ain't paying me for check. I ain't got to take that money. But if I decide that I want to work for the NFL, go to play for the NFL, and take the money that they got, I understand the policies that they have. I have to work within those policies because that's the company. And if I choose not to, I don't have to work. Matter of fact, they even made it better. You can still work for us. Don't come out. After the national anthem, come on out. Right. They gave me a choice option. It would be different if they said, "Y'all got to come out, stand for the national anthem, and that's all it's that." No, they gave me an option.
What about the question that we saw on Facebook that said, "Is the NFL the new plantation?"
I say no. Because if it was a plantation, everybody that got a job works for a plantation owner.
You're not hearing one word.
The word plantation.
No.
The word new.
The new plantation.
I don't think it's even an old plantation. I don't think it's a plantation at all. I'm gonna tell you why. Because and I know why they say that, because look what they do before they pick you up.
Wait a minute. You're not saying that's an old plantation?
No, I'm not saying it's a plantation, period.
Really?
There's no because we
what did they say when they at the house brother? The plantation is where the land, okay, where they develop cotton or tobacco, all that.
Yeah, and on the plantation, guess what? Number one, you're getting forced. Number one, you're getting forced to do something you don't want to do. You're getting forced to be a place that you don't want to be.
You're getting forced here.
No, you're not.
Yes, you are.
How you getting paid?
You getting paid? How is that being forced?
They are forcing you to stay.
No.
They
You don't have to work there.
But
you can go home.
You're right.
So
one, you don't have to stand. Two, you don't have to work with us.
How am I being forced to do something I love doing?
$100,000.
I love running the football. I love that. How am I being forced?
I told this lady, I said, if this is the new plantation, I sign a contract for $1 million.
let me
Sign
work
me
there.
up, massa.
Yeah. How
I'm
am I being forced to
I'm coming.
a plantation? When you're on a plantation, you're being forced to stay there. You're being forced to do what they tell you to do. You ain't got no rights for nothing. You can do, and guess what? Guess what? They can do anything they want to do to you. On this plantation they talking about, I'm making money. I got big houses. I got cars. I don't have to work for you if I don't want to.
Well,
I can work if I want
9
to.
months out of the year.
Okay, let me
Yeah,
show
we
you.
only work 9 months out of the year at that.
If even that.
Was about 3 weeks ago, Jason Witten came out about Jerry Jones Troy Aikman. Troy said, Jerry do what he want to do to you. Troy said, I would have still been playing a couple more years if he would have treated me better.
The context of that, and I'm gonna tell you why that was wrong.
First of all,
Number one, Troy
Aikman is a damn hater. Excuse my French.
Hold on. Number one, Troy Aikman was past his prime. So they're not gonna keep people past the prime when you're done. Matter of fact, not only that, when he left, there was no team lined up.
Okay, let me let's go to Emmett. Before Emmett retired,
he left to go to. He
didn't leave.
Yes, he did.
They sent him.
No. He left.
They sent him.
They waived him.
He waived. And then he played for somebody else.
Let me show you what it is.
And he got 2 years, and that was it.
No, let me show you.
Okay, audience comment. I think it's just as powerful as watching players run out of the locker room onto the field after the national anthem has been sung, because the masses know exactly what that player's delay coming to the field was for.
Can I show you something else that may happen after that? Let me show you what may happen after that. Louis, you might concur what I'm going to say. Those owners are taking names that's not out there for the anthem. And if you know, wait a minute, let me finish. Like Jerry, if you do not produce, that's their reason to get rid of you.
Okay. I love that explanation. Because right now, if you don't produce, you
don't.
Wait
a minute. I'm different. I didn't finish about Emmett here. Okay? When Emmett left and went to Arizona, Jerry saw something. Because Jerry don't see money. He don't see color green. Emmett wasn't too far away from the NFL leading rushing title. Jerry said, wait a minute, if I bring him back here.
No, he got that before he left. Yes, he did. He got that before he left. He got that NFL rushing record
against Seattle.
He got that before he left.
But no, he got it playing for who?
For the Cowboys.
That's what I'm trying to say.
No,
he didn't get that. No,
yes,
he didn't get it before Arizona.
Yes, he did.
He got it after he came back from Arizona.
No, he got the rushing champion against Seattle.
He retired.
Let me bring that up.
He retired.
He got the rushing champion. He got the rushing champion before he left.
He got the.
Look it up.
He taught Walter Payton in the game in Seattle where Chad Hutchinson was quarterback.
When he was playing
and the ensuing year, they waived him. The ensuing year, they waived him.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
No, he got the rushing champion title before he left.
Before he
Arizona?
Yes, before he left Arizona.
He had already had that.
And then the next year, he only had 700-some yards. Next year, he got hurt.
When he first went to Arizona, he got down 37 yards.
Let me ask you a question. Remember when he was playing for the Cowboys? And he did that lap around the stadium. What was that about?
No, that's when he got the champion. That's when he got the title.
Not before Arizona?
Yes, it was before Arizona.
No, because when he did that, it wasn't much longer.
I'm going to show it to you.
When he retired.
It was before Arizona.
He retired here at Cowboys.
No, he retired as a Cowboy.
Yeah.
No, he brought him back to retire as a Cowboy for
after the 2 years with Arizona, he came back to sign a one-day contract with the Cowboys to retire.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you sure right. But the point is, when he did that, that put the marketing with the Cowboys.
No,
not with Arizona. Because whoever that top player, just like LeBron, go back to LeBron. Whoever LeBron retired from, that's who get the market him.
But guess what though? That's everybody. That has nothing to do with black and white. That's got something to do with. That's been going on since the beginning of time.
I understand that.
And that's about making money. What's wrong with an owner trying to make money? You trying to make it look like it's bad. It's wrong for the owner to make money.
No, okay. And it goes back to what I stated. What's your motive?
No. You know what? In my business, I'm making money. Okay. In my business, my motive is making money. Yeah. What's wrong with having that motive?
But okay, you making money. How much of that money I'm gonna get?
You negotiate a contract. And that's what you get. What's wrong with, we acting like we're so, we hell bent on owners not making money. That's what they do. Everybody who runs a business wants to make money. Don't tell me you want to run a business, you don't want to make money.
I understand that. And the best way, you know how the best way you make money?
By being smart and making money?
No. The best way you make money is when you take care of the people that you employ.
And what do you think they're doing? Just because they're telling you,
they just trying. I think they just trying to not have any distractions, so we can get
it's not all about a black and white issue. It's about
playing the game.
Yeah.
Well,
that's what they're trying to do. So from 1990 to 2002.
But the players are not happy.
I know they're not.
Well, that's their problem.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If that's the case, every job you've had, have you ever been just totally happy?
If that's the case,
any job you've had, you never have
your life and go home.
Yes.
And did you stay there and say, okay, I'll get through it?
If I had to pay my bills, I did.
Not too long.
Not too long. And you go find somewhere else to work, right? And guess what? The players have every right to say, okay, you know what? I can't take this no more.
How many? Give me percentage-wise that you think how many players it may be.
I don't think it's that big of a percentage.
You sure about that?
I'm positive.
You sure about that 5 minutes?
No. I'm gonna tell you why I don't think there's a big of a percentage. Because it's not that much of an uproar. You got a couple of players out there that's speaking up. But the uproar, because if it was that big of a percentage, if that was that big of a percentage, then I think you just asked me a percentage.
Keenan Allen said, I don't even try to tie myself into that man. Try to keep my head down and just do my job.
See? Because
he said he's echoing the sentiments of several of his teammates for the Chargers.
He said they ain't got time to deal with all that.
What is he talking about?
Talking about the flag and the anthem and all that.
He said they ain't got time to deal with that. I'm trying to do my job.
I'm just trying to do my job.
Okay. All right. Let's see if we can take a different direction of it then. Because we are having too many African Americans being abused by what they wear on their sleeve of their uniform. Because they wear that. They wear their flag.
You talking about the flag?
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about
police officers?
So you talking about police officers?
Right.
So the police officers are being abused?
No, I said African Americans.
So the African Americans are being abused by police officers.
That's how all this started, right?
No, you're talking about the police brutality has been around. No, because Kaepernick kneeled, but it's been around. I mean, the
all he did was make a stand.
Okay, great. But what I'm saying is for her, the statement he made was against the wrong facility. It was against the wrong entity. He should have made that statement and should have been vocal, extremely vocal, to the police officers in his county. In his county.
What to do with that?
Huh?
How you gonna tell a man what to do with
that? No, simple. You go down to your county commissioner. You go down to and say, I'm tired of this police brutality, and there's something that needs to be done about it. But you make statements there. But you do not go to your job and make a political statement.
He was making it where he knew nationwide.
No, he screwed up because he the one who said it's all about the national anthem. He the one who put that out there.
Yeah, he might have said it wrong. I don't know.
And then, matter of fact, he did that and then say, I ain't gonna vote. Mm-mm. So you want to make a statement, put it out there, you put it out there wrong, then say, I'm not voting.
Well,
how does that help your...
It does not, because number one, you everybody, but when I working the polls, Benchwarmer, you know this yourself.
Yeah.
When we run into our own at the polls,
it's far few in between.
By 2 or 3% of us that I don't vote. Mm-hmm. You don't?
And then you want to have the nerve to give me a reason why you don't vote. Yeah. Heck, you do local elections so you can get local things done.
Because the local determines your state.
Exactly.
So let's go back to what he said. I am not going to stand up to show pride in a flag for a country that oppresses black people and people of color.
There you go.
Pay attention to the key words. I am not going to stand up to show pride
there you go.
in a flag for a country that oppress black people and people of color.
Okay. There you go.
Now let me ask this question.
So let's go all the way back home base. So that statement and go from there.
So let me ask this question right here, and I know I'm gonna piss a whole bunch of people off.
You always do.
Yeah, well, you know.
Security.
Yeah, first of all, I'm speaking for me.
6 minutes.
I'm speaking for me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Y'all don't be coming over here trying to.
Yeah, I'm speaking for me. Okay. I don't put myself in positions to feel oppressed by someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I'm saying it very carefully. Mm-hmm. I don't put myself in a position to feel oppressed by somebody. Because and the reason why I'm saying that is because, let's go back to the definition of oppression. Okay, what does oppressed mean? It means that there's
degrade.
Huh?
Degrade.
I don't feel it degraded.
Well.
I don't feel degraded. I feel more degraded and more oppressed by my own people.
Let me ask you a question.
Than anybody else.
And this is what I've seen. Until it hits home.
It has hit home several. Listen, I grew up where I got called the N-word. But I still didn't feel like I was oppressed.
But have anybody immediately in your family been shot, beaten down? No. Not until it hit home, man. Why you gotta wait? Why people gotta wait until? Wait a minute. You got a nation that care more about animals than they do about human beings.
No, I understand that.
Wait a minute. This is what he's saying. I'm not gonna stand up and show pride to a flag or a song of a people that don't care nothing about me or people of color.
Now let me ask you a question. I'm gonna ask you this question right here, AD. How long? Give me a. Do you think that what you just said will continue to happen? Give me years. How many years? 10 years, 15, 20 years, 30 years?
It may never die down.
It may never die down. What are you gonna, if it never dies down?
You want me to see what I say after that? Let me show that. Because the civil rights is still going on.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. If it never dies down, are you going to live your life, the rest of your life, with that mindset that it's because it's never going to die down, I'm never going to do anything? Or are you going to do things, you know what, forget that. They don't oppress me. They don't oppress, listen, I know how to deal with officers when you don't be badgering for officers. I'm not going to live my life feeling like somebody's oppressing me. No, it has not hit home, and it might hit home. I don't know that. I don't know if it's going to hit home or not. I just know that in my immediate circle, where I'm at and who I'm dealing with, you know what? I know how to, let me talk, let me see what's going on, this, that, the other. I'm not going to put out something out there that we have been feeling for 8 million years and we ain't figured it out yet.
Well, what I'm saying here, okay, can I kind of change scenery here?
Go ahead.
Christ didn't have to do what he did.
He didn't.
The reason why he did what he did is because he had compassion and love for everyone. And the reason why my fight is what it is, it's not just because of me or my children or my grandchildren. It's for everybody to be treated fair. And not, as Martin Luther King say, I'm paraphrasing here, I'm hoping one day it will come a time you don't look at my children by the color of their skin,
by the content of their character.
You get what I'm saying?
But here's what we do.
Until we come together with that mindset.
But here's what we do though. We look at those by the color of their skin, not the content of their character. I asked this question to Daniel. I asked this question. I said, "Do you feel oppressed?" No. Why should I? That's the greatest answer you could ever give. Cedric, he goes down to Vidor, Texas. You know where that is, right? Mm-hmm. You okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Why? Because you know what? They don't grow up thinking that mindset. They don't grow up having that mindset. And if we stop teaching our kids to not have that mindset, and that's how you deal with it. You make that generational. If I'm teaching my child A, B, and C, then my child will teach others. And as the generation goes, man, is it going to always be perfect? No. I'm not saying we live in a perfect society or a perfect world, but it's how you teach someone. the mentality. When does that start? That should start when they're kids. The parents should start teaching that mentality.
Is it mentality or education?
It's both.
It's over.
Oh, it's over. Oh,
We got
looking hard.
All right, next week's question. Men, if your wife sits down to talk to your ex-wife in a forest and you are not there, are you still in trouble?
That's it.
All right, this has been 401 Sports Talk Radio, 4RadioNetwork.com. I got shut.
I don't have to worry about that because my wife's not an outside person.
There you go. Shut out. All right, we'll see you guys
See you next week.
All right, same bat time, same bat channel.
Yes, we're out.
It still remains to be seen.
To be continued.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
It's going to always be a conversation.